Hello there. The timing of that alert. Hello, you're very welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Good man, Ryan. Jesus, the timing was just epic, right? You're all very welcome aboard. Tonight, friends, we start a brand new Monday night adventure, and this is going to lead us all the way up to the week just before Flight Sim 2024. I mean, the timing of this. It was all put together by the master of craft, or the craft masterer, we don't know yet, the legend that is Jeppesen 2001. And there's a bit happening here now. This is right up my alley when it comes to history. It's fascinating, you see. But we'll get through all the introductions now. Do you know? We'll see what it's all about. So you're all very welcome in. Tonight we are off to ancient Greece to visit one of the most jaw-dropping creations ever made by human hands. The legendary Statue of Zeus at Olympia. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. We'll be taking flight tonight in the Grand Caravan. This is from Blacksquare with the steam gauge overhaul. And we're going to be blasting off out of Athens International Airport, Lima Golf Alpha Victor. We're going to head out over the city, checking on some of the sights before we head out towards the Gulf of Corinth. We're going to touch down at a place called Araxos Airport. We'll find out. Lima Golf Romeo X-ray. And from here, we're going to take on a bit of fuel as we head down to the birthplace of the Olympic Games. We shall overfly the Statue of Zeus. We have some GPS coordinates in there. Before we then make our way to the isolated island, I think it's Kythira, believed to be the birthplace of Aphrodite. We're going to make a full stop landing at the airport, Lima Golf Kilo Charlie. That's the plan tonight, right? It's all Greek to me. It's all Greek to everyone, right? The Statue of Zeus, it was crafted by the master sculptor Jeppesen 2001 in the sim, but back in the day, it was by a fella called Phidias. It stood over 40 feet tall. It was a wooden frame, then they threw on some gold, ivory, and jewels, you name it. And he was seated there, was Zeus, on a throne. Seemingly, the sight of seeing this statue, well, it left pilgrims from all across the Mediterranean in absolute awe. And why wouldn't it? It wasn't just a statue, it was the statue, a symbol of power, luxury, and the brilliance of Greek craftsmanship. There's buttons being pressed at an alarming rate. So the work here Jeppesen has done, not just for this, but also all of these wonders that we're going to explore over the next number of weeks, 7 weeks. There's always something about 7, isn't there? But we're going to be checking them all out. Jeppesen he's outdone himself once again. And this started off, as they usually do, a little conversation. Jesus, Jeff, you wouldn't think you'd be able to maybe, throw in a statue or even a signpost. What are you working on, Murph? Yeah, I was thinking of doing, the ancient wonders. And he's like, most of them don't exist. In fact, only one of them do to this day. I was like, yeah, that's the way the world has gone. He says, leave it with me. I left it with him, and now we have a full scenery pack, which is free, and you can pick it up over on our website, !scenery into the chat, be it on Twitch or YouTube. It gives you a link to our website. Gibbo did all the handicrafty work with our exceptionally looking website, and well, you can grab it there. I think you need to register, tell us what you have for breakfast. But apart from that, it's grand, right? So as I said, our aircraft tonight, the Cessna 208 Grand Caravan, highly versatile and durable single-engine turboprop, introduced in 1984 by Cessna, which is today a subsidiary of Textron Aviation. They kind of did what Airbus did, you know what I'm saying? Or Airbus are still doing. They just buy up every other company. It's powered by a Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine, so we need to be careful with this thing. All 675 horses under the hood will enable us to go roughly 1,100 miles on a full tank of gas, whilst carrying about 14 people. The aircraft does have exceptional short takeoff and landing capabilities, which might be handy in case we want to touch down in the old kind of drone, hippodrome, amphitheatre. What were they called? The great something. The drone, the thing they all run around where the Olympics started, them ones, over there, right? So let's see what we can do. The aircraft today, there's almost 3,000 of these things built, and it's widely used throughout the world. Passenger transport, they use it for regional airliners, charter operations, parachuting, air taxis, all that jazz. But they also use it for cargo transport. Mainly in Papua New Guinea. There's a fantastic YouTube channel there by, I think it's Missionary Bush Pilot. He flies the Grand Caravan all around the shop. It's used for medical evacuation, humanitarian aid, and, well, a whole lot more, including military, law enforcement, and bush flying, would you believe? So that is the aircraft for flying. And the one we're using is from Blacksquare. It's the steam gauge overhaul, which transforms the default Cessna that we got in the sim into what it is. It is a study level representation of what the Grand Caravan is all about. And that goes far from the engines to its systems and even all the avionics and our navigation systems. It is a very good add-on. And if you don't have it, what's wrong with you? Where were you? And tell me all about it. Do you know? Because it's great. Absolutely brilliant. So, that's kind of the introduction. We did well, didn't we? It's exciting. This is the third time we've done kind of like the wonders thing, right? We started off, the very first wonders we did was the 7 wonders of the world. And that was so much fun. Then we did the natural wonders, again by Jeppesen. All of these have been helped along, or enabled, if you like, by our very own Jeppesen 2001. And with the ancient wonders, well, out of all 7, only one still stands today, and that's, of course, the pyramids, right? So when we think about it, and if you were to look at a map, right, and figure out where all the wonders of the ancient world were, well, 5 of them are kind of within the Greek sphere of influence. They're either built by the Greeks or heavily inspired. And only 2 of them weren't. That's the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, out in modern day, I think it's Iraq, and the pyramids, right? So each week we're going to tackle a new wonder, and well, the joys we have for our PC pilots, we get to see a digital representation thanks to Jeppesen. But maybe if you're on the Xbox, we can still fly out to the coordinates, and there's satellite imagery there. I mean, you're going to see X marks the spot. That's where they used to be. Do you know? So it's all grand, so it is, and we're sure. Let's see what we can do. Right, into the chat now. We say hello to everyone because you're all very good for rambling in on a cold, miserably wet, blustery Monday. Hence the jumper. It's cold, right? Winter is finally upon us. But sure, listen. Grand, right? It's nice and warm in here. Oh yeah, also, I got stuff, look. I'll show you. So I'm after getting, well, you can't see it. It's a little box. You know what I'm like for boxes. But you know what this is, lads? Can I take it out of the box? Put the bunny back in the box. I'll show you what it is, look. This here, friends, is a USB expansion plate thingy-majig. Look at all the USBs in that, look. Be the Jesus! And I installed it via PCIe connection. USB 3, USB-C, USB something else, right? So that's a job, and I have 2 of those, one for Maverick and one for Iceman, right? But that's not all, friends. In preparation of the upcoming Flight Sim 2024, and people giving out to me because I don't have Forza installed. This is a Samsung NVMe 4TB Divil. Look at the speed! 7,450 megabit. The speed! And I got a pair of anti-static gloves. Right? I mean, sometimes I reckon that's all I'm going to wear at some stage. But, right. So I have a busy couple of days ahead of me of doing stuff and, breaking things. So that's the update. And you may have seen on our medias that are social, a box arrived. 2 boxes, in fact. They're extremely heavy and I've already stumped me toe. But it's from DOF Reality. DOF Reality. Some say it's a motion it'd want to be some platform now to motion me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, right. I'll give it a good run for its money. But yes. Dougal says, Murph, I have the 990 Pro, seems great so far. Nice. Do you know what's gas, right? The one I have, which is a 2TB, the speed is 3500, which is very good. You go back to a HDD, mop the floor with it. But this thing is twice the speed. So yeah, super excited to see what it can do. But anyway, let us ramble in. Fierce Wolf is here looking fierce and wolfy. Hello. Ozymandias, good to see you. Super Typhon, welcome aboard. The last series for Flight Sim 2020 begins now. That's mad, Super Ty, isn't it? It kind of is, lads. This is our final, we think, Monday night series for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Our next Monday night series will take place using the brand new simulator. That's shocking exciting. Jesus! Did someone light a candle? Do we have a bugler?
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
We need a bugler, right? You know what I mean? What was it called? Last call? That's what we need. But yes, exciting times for sure. Led Ballooner, you're very welcome aboard. The Forgetful Larry has rambled into the chat. Hey, Larry. How's she cutting, man? Well, in Jutani, guten Abend. Toto is in the house. Night Zepp is here. Very happy Monday. Tarnish, welcome aboard. Willow, how much? Is in the house, man. Dr. Diggler, hello. Spitfire RAF 100 is here in the chat. Very happy Monday. Nutty Slack. I can't hear any sound. Is it just me? Oh, be the Jesus, Nutty Slack. DJ Seamus is here. 10 streams in a row, dude. I hope everyone's keeping well. Dry with awful weather we're having. Yeah, the lovely dry weather. Yeah, Jesus. Who else now? Greg, thank you very much indeed for the follow. Phidias is in the house. Flyer10, welcome in. Vacuum again. Or maybe it's the first time. Hello, Vacuum. Good to see you. Bell Bro is here. He says, hey, friendages, ready for the Monday night crack. Sure, listen, it's great to see you. Filthy is here. How did it get to be Monday again? That weekend. Boom. Gone out of nowhere. Retriever Neil, welcome aboard. 98 Vulcan is here. Lima Kilo Mike, a very happy Monday to you. PH Roy is in the house. Good evening. Rambog Mord is here. Good to see you, Rambog. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope you're well. Simon rambles in. Chox is in the house. Greg Gore says, greeting pilots. Greetings to you, Gregor. Hope you're well, man. Onboard Simulations, happy Monday. Sir Campsalot rambles in. Kozaki Flyer says, you survived Monday. Congratulations. Great to see you, Kazaki. The lovely Kaharia has rambled in. Good to see you, Kaharia. Hope all is well. I was lurking on your stream yesterday. You were doing the airliner flying. The scenery was amazing. Gorgeous. Now let me see. Stick Figure, welcome aboard. Mr. Scoo is in the house. Good evening, everyone. Time for the wonderful world. Did you see what I did? I saw what you did. Simon20, good evening. Martel is in the house. Krabby1, you're very welcome in. Am I also checking out the MiG-25 and the 5B Tiger? Wednesday is very busy, so I might do them the week after Super Tie. It's been shocking busy, do you know? Also, Rex Atmos got released. And I'm not using it tonight, but we'll check it out on Wednesday. Old Veteran 965 says, afternoon, evening all. Hope it's a great Monday for you all. Monday has put out the History Voodoo. No Gibbo today. It's kind of like garlic on a vampire. Gibbo, it's not his cup of tea. But, you know, it's Gibbo's liking the airliner stuff. He's liking the airliner stuff. But the history, anytime I've tried to kind of engage in conversation, I'll be like, so did I ever tell you about the Romans? Right? Not a fan. Not a fan. So it's grand, right? We'll there'll be an ambush later, you know. At some stage I'll be talking football, and then I'll always find a way to bring it back to, you know, the Romans or something. But anyway, Mr. Scoo, indeed. Viper Strike is in the house. Good to see you. Great scenery. Excited to see what it looks like in 2024. Oh, yeah. So they have a lot of the Grand Canyon in Flight Sim 2024, lads, is absolutely friggin' unbelievably good. The detail they've managed to get, right? But they also have like the Grand Canyon Village, and they have a lot of scenery around the area, so I cannot wait for the sim to be released. DJ Seamus, good to see you. Let me see, Commander Balosh is here. Jan Moorkamp, hello. Jan, good to see you. Those buttons being pressed. Vince C, welcome aboard. Frod Hammer is here. Tritz, welcome in. He says, a question for you. If I, for whatever reason, decide to stay with Flight Sim 2020, would I still be able to fly with you and the guys that are on Flight Sim 2024? So there's no direct path between Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024 when it comes to multiplayer. They're different engines, and they're not going to kind of, you know, what's the word? Cross-platform? However, there are ways of making it happen, and that's going to be using SimConnect. So we have stuff there already. We know JoinFS. We're expecting JoinFS will be able to work pretty much as it does now by getting aircraft to appear on Flight Sim 2020 into the world of Flight Sim 2024 and vice versa. It might take a week or two or even a month or two after release, but we'll figure something out. Great question, though. Now, let me see. Sun Jammer is here. Good to see you. Little Trader, welcome aboard. Jeez, it's very busy. Bossman Gaming's in the house. Where's this now? Winkle Gassler. How do we know all the details for Flight Sim 24, right? 7 weeks, lads. Well, 8. But you know what I mean? Volanta will show both sims. They will, Captain Easy Rider, of course. But they won't display your aircraft in the sim. But they will track them, 100%. But yeah. Right, Larry Gopnik. Hey, Larry. He says, I've been to the mausoleum of, how do you pronounce that? Is it Halicarnassus? Halicarnassus? I think that I need to brush up my words. He says, and it's meh. Right? Here's something that stood for a century. Yeah, state of it. I love that. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Tonight we shall see the statue of Zeus. Indeed we shall. The noise of the mic. Fornax, you're very welcome aboard. Is Gibbo one of the 7 wonders? Dougal McTavish, the chairman. You're very welcome in, Dougal. Good to see you. Care85 rambles in. Kingsman, all the way from Liverpool. It's good to see you, my guy. Hope you're well. Put on the kettle. Now, let me see. PH Roy says, Jeppesen did it again. He says, Jesus, well done. I don't know yet what his collaboration is, but we will soon find out. Outstanding work, right? I mean, Jepson has created all of the scenery outside of the airports. So all of it. Anything from the POIs, that's what he's built, right? And I just think it's fascinating. We also got a shout out from MSFS addons.com. Vasco gave us a shout out, who's an absolute gent and a scholar and fair play to him. But yes, Jefferson 100% is one of the 7 wonders. He is, right? He just is. But it's brilliant. Ryan JN89 subscribed for 13 months and the timing was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very, very much indeed, Ryan. Great to see you. Now, let me see. We're catching up here. Murph, I have a frightful... Huh? Nutty Slack, can you explain more? The Grand Wazoo, welcome aboard. 11 months, man. Thank you very much indeed. Hello there. David Bay is in the house. Good to see you, David. Mr. Scoo with all the Jepson emotes. Look at the state of that. Eamon says, I missed Friday's stream because it was staying in a bothy in the Lake District up a mountain. This sounds very romantic, Eamon. Was it romantic? But yes, right, we're over here now. We're catching up. Strap21, Ola, Fallen Up is here for 21 months. Thank you very much indeed, Fallen Up. Great to see you, man. And thank you also very, very much indeed. Lads, your support. September has been a record month for many things. Exciting news coming out tomorrow as well. Keep your eye on social media. But it's just been bananas, the support. And I cannot thank you all enough. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Words cannot put meaning to it, but thank you also very much indeed. Zybok Doc is here calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. I hope you're keeping well. And let me see now, Captain Gaiman, what's happening? The man who things get lost in the mail. Jesus. We'll fix that for you, Captain Gaiman. But it's good to see you. Flying Tonight is here. Jefferson scores another home run. He just does. Wombat 49, good to see you, Wombat. You're very welcome in. Now where are we at? We're over here, look. My company Tradewin started with 208s, then they upgraded to the PC12. Ooh, nice. Sunjammer Circus Maximus. Yes. He flies the Kodiak. Did he always fly the Kodiak, Rafa, or was it a Grand Caravan? Maybe it was the Kodiak. They're very similar though, aren't they? I mean, basically, they had a look at the Grand Caravan and said, yes, make it smaller and more powerful. And that's what they did. That's the Kodiak. But yes, now, did Zeus wear Crocs on his feet and thus inspired the rest of ancient Greece to do the same? Legend has it, Viper, that Zeus was a Crocs man. Yep, he wore Crocs, absolutely. Now, let me see. Muse fan is here. He says, how he is his mad jokes is. Happy Monday. Muse, great to see you, my guy. Hope you're keeping well. Crazer Core is here. Rackamo, hello. It's quite warm here, says old veteran. It's not warm here. It's like 7 degrees going to work this morning. 7. Jesus, lads, I'm not built for... Well... I don't like the cold. You're not built for the cold. Lots of layers, Murph. But anyway, Malton Streams is here. Hello from Espanol. Bought ETS2 thanks to you. Ah, brilliant. We'll have fun trucking. That's a big 10-4, good buddy. In news, lads. So the guys over at Truckee, you know the Truckee app that we use for the truckers? The truck. Anyway, the Truckee app, even Murphy Words English, they only went ahead and invited me to be an ambassador. See, I am Mr. Ambassador. They asked me to be an ambassador for the Truckee app. And sure, I mean, I love it. It's brilliant. It allows us all to connect together and go driving. I think it's brilliant, right? Brilliant. So yeah, they're going to send me out a t-shirt. Extra medium, I said. Brilliant. But anyway, we're over here, look. Where are we now? Filthy, welcome in. I had the 90... Oh yeah, Dougal. Oh, Jez, I'm only here now, Dougal.
Jesus.
Time to go full Clarkson when it comes to manual labour. We don't do manual labour. Ascari Wolf is in the house. Hopefully you don't break your hands. I'll be grand. Can we look over your shoulder when you break your computers? Listen, right? I'm going to watch many YouTube videos and probably your own Twitch video, Kythira, when you had to rebuild the beehive. And I have me fancy gloves. You know, we should start a poll. What are the chances of Murphy shagging both PCs by trying to put in hardware? What's the likelihood? You know, it'll either be he's a complete muppet and he'll break them, or, no, the man's a genius and this will be no task. And there's no third option. It won't be somewhere in the middle, right? I mean, it's either he's a total idiot or it'll be grand, right? I reckon it'll be grand. I just hope I have a slot for it in that machine.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
That machine has a slot. That machine, we'll find out when I take it out there. Because also, I can't show you now, but I have one of those blower gadget attachments. You wouldn't know what's in my drawers, lads, right? Polish and everything.
They've done studies, you know.
They've done studies.
60% of the time, it works
Every time.
Every time.
Do you know the big... They're not like an industrial blower. They're a blower, right? And it has little brushes and stuff on it, right? And because I need to do spring cleaning coming into the wintertime. Yes. Dust be gone, I call it. And let's see what happens. Soaring AJ H, man, good to see you. Right, we're over here. Got to be careful with the 99 series. They have an issue with killing themselves. What? Now you tell me, after I got one? Jesus. Friend to all is here, 42 months. He says, happy 42-month anniversary. The anagram of 24, as in Flight Sim 2024. Thank you very, very much indeed, friend to all. Now, where is this now? Super Typhon with a Vuvuzela. Jesus. Larry Gopnik says, I'm great. Good man, Larry. Mugga T is here. Good to see you. Colonel Dave. What date is 2024? The release date, November 19th. November 19th. Bossman says, some say Murph had his Crocs, thank God I pronounced that right, 3D printed, and that his Skoda parts are made from leftover Croc bits. Jesus. Right, Winklegaster, good evening. Hermit something is in the house. Hi, Hermit. Fortnite is here. You're very welcome aboard. Right, we're over here now. Jesus. Where is this now? Keane Lafford. Good man, Keane. 41 months of listening to the Romans, and I'm here for 41 more. Keane Lafford, thank you very, very much indeed, my guy. And well, you're very welcome in. Never mind the Romans. What did the Greeks ever do for us? Says Scorpio. Scorpio 49, good to see you. Now, let me see. Bin Kin name. Is it Bin Kane? Bin Kine name? He says, good evening from Germany. Finally managed to join in for one of these. Hello from Tipperary. You're very welcome in. And great to see you. Great to see you. Right, we're over here. Tima is in the house. Jesus, lads, it's busy, isn't it? I'll get there now eventually. Captain Easy Rider. Yes, you're very welcome aboard. Thanks for that. Stroger. Stroger is here, but he isn't here. But he's here. Thank you very much, Stroger. Microsoft Flight Sim Pilot. Hello, hello. Jefferson, 100% one of the 7 wonders, isn't he? Car DTM, is this going to be a group flight? Yes, sir. Southeast Asian server. Will LRM, etc. work out of the box on 24? I reckon it will, David, yeah. Because like it's using SimConnect, so I reckon it will. We'll have to find out. You convinced me to go Virpil. Stick and pedals should arrive in a month. Ah, Chris B, great news. I'm really happy with that equipment. It's served me so well. I've the Mongoose gadget and I've the joystick. But I still say my Thrustmaster pedals, they are the best pedals I think you can get, especially at that price point. They're the Pendular TPR pedals. Thrustmaster absolutely knocked it out of the park with those pedals. I think they're brilliant. Do you know? Alurgi Murph, you know, the plane. Oh, you have a man flu. Why didn't you say? Nutty Snack has the man flu. You want to be careful. It almost kills 7 men a year. It's no laughing matter. Loads of vitamin C. Tim Dog, rather. Good to see you, Tim Dog. Jay Winokur, still hoping for a list of features available at launch, not the planes. In terms of features, Jay Winokur, I couldn't tell you. Working windscreen wipers, new sim game modes, extremely faster loading, extreme. New physics, and there's seemingly a discussion about showing weapons. As in bombs and rockets. They're not going to work, but they might be able to show them.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
There's stuff happening all over the shop. But yeah, Jay Winokur, it's is there anything in specifically? What they should do is, lads, this is what the community voted for, as in they picked 5 of the most voted for topics, and this is what we've done to work at them. Hence, Flight Sim 2024. Instead of we're doing a new sim and then they allow 100 million, well, about several hundred people ask, are you doing this? No. Are you doing this? No. Are you doing that? I can't tell you. Ah, Jesus. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, listen, it's whatever it'll be on release and then it will progress. We saw the same in 2020. Let's just hope it's released in a very good state, especially a stable state, unlike myself. But yes, he says words can't explain it because he can say words. He makes English hard. I do make English hard. But yes, Rafa, you're very welcome in. Flying tonight, we're going to be on the Southeast Asian server. Now, let me see. We're over here, look, Microsoft Flight Sim Pilot. How are you, Murph? I'm doing all right. It's Monday and I'm excited. We need to go flying now in a second. 32 degrees where Scott is. Jesus, 32, Scott. Bloody hell, I take 15 or 16. In a Box Man is here. Good to see you, my guy. I hope you're well. Very happy Monday, and hope all is well in the In a Box Man family. You're very welcome in. Kodiak and Caravan. Ah, yes, the Chevy Tahoe and the Suburban of the Air. Indeed, they are. All right, Scott, welcome aboard. Right, over here now. Complete Muppet. Right, what? Can we have a poll? You can create a poll. Just put it. I don't know what the command is. Ask Muse or Scott, they'll figure it out. Is Gibbo going to be there, Guinness in hand, laughing at you all the way? Probably, yes. I even said it to Gibbo. I was like, I don't want to put this together unless you're here. Right? And yes, okay, I fully accept most of the time will be Gibbo laughing at me, calling me an idiot. Most of the time. But he might come in fierce handy to say, no, Murphy, you're doing that completely wrong. Right? And then I won't break it. So fingers crossed that he takes some time out and come down this neck of the woods. And, you know, I won't give him beer. He drinks Guinness. I'll make him a sandwich or something. Do you know, it'll be grand. Right, anyway, where are we? We're over here, look. Can we have an Arnie accent? I'm Hercules, son of Zeus. I'm Hercules, son of Zeus. Could you imagine? Now, you had Hercules and Herculeus. Wasn't it? Herculeus? Lads, we need to do some studying. Right, now, we don't want to know more if that's grand. Remember to... Thank you, Dougal. A life lesson there, ladies and gentlemen, from Dougal McDavish. Remember not to blow. Keen Laffer says, we don't want to know what you're blowing. Jesus, lads. It's a machine for cleaning dust. DeBlaze is here for 12 months, and just like that, we've circled the sun. Thank you very, very much indeed, DeBlaze. Welcome in, man. Roy says, for those interested, I managed to arrange a meet and greet with Maastricht's Andre Rieu. Good man yourself. Awesome. Eat Hep, good to see you. You've got a blower in your drawers. That's a novelty, Murph. Listen, Tritz, it is what it is. You're going to find out why the Greeks you're going to find out what the Greeks have done today. We have. David Bay, 22 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, my guy. We're nearly there now. Alston, thank you very much indeed. Let me see. Mugati gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. You absolute legend. Thank you very, very much indeed. And then Twitch decided to add 1 and then 2 bonus gift subs. See, Twitch are doing things. This is the last day of it. September, and they're adding subs or something to every if you sub, they'll throw in another sub. It's nuts. But anyway, thank you, Twitch, and of course, thank you, Mugga T. Very, very kind of you, sir. Now, let me see. Multi-screen stuff. Oh, I'd love to know that. I'd love to know it. Well, multi-screen stuff is probably going to be the same, you know. Howling Crazy, good to see you, man. Right, correction, Dara makes the Kodiak. It does. Now, Floxtrot says, I'm curious if multiplayer disappearing has been solved. I don't think so. I brought it up at Seb, and he says, yeah, they were aware of it. They know the crack. And he had 92 aircraft working on a scene. So he says the data is there. It's just a matter of making them appear. I think the biggest problem that came into that was when the sim came out on Xbox, because, well, it would have killed performance on console by showing more than, whatever, 15 or 20 aircraft. But we'll have to wait and see, right? Does anyone know how to get rid of the pilot avatars in the default 208? I haven't flown it in years. Oh, Jesus, Muse. Change the weight, maybe, no? Now, Silly, good to see you, man. You're very welcome aboard. Now, over to YouTube quickly. It's very busy. So let me see. WB1990, you're very welcome in. Welcome in. Medic24 Live, happy Monday. Mark Wheeler is here. Why can yes? Welsh Dogfish is in the house. He says, Northways to you, which? Good evening in Welsh. Tom, Shay, come on. Or something. Good man yourself. We'll talk in Gaelic, right? Now let me see. US Air Force MedTech is in the house. Iron Knob Airways, welcome in. Lear Taylor is here. Larry's over there as well. Fire Creeper, Marty, Paul Haynes, welcome in, lads. Bunkfoss is here. TPHI 17 and Mrs. TPHI 17. You're both very welcome aboard. Monty is in the house. Bartman 7490, Johnny Mitch, Silly Unknown, Logo Lights, Ground Hopping, you're very welcome in. Silly Unknown again, and David Cleary. Lads, thank you also very much indeed for joining us here on this Monday. Shall we get started? Yeah, I think we shall. We'll do one of these. It still doesn't make that noise. Turn off the light, and then press that, and then appear over here. It's amazing what you can do with modern technology, isn't it? Right, lads, here we are. Cessna Grand Caravan, a C208. I flew in one of these. In actual fact, I jumped out of one of these. These are a beautiful aircraft. Not jumping out of them, of course, you know, they're still a beautiful aircraft, even if you want to jump out of them, you know. Tenured is here, good to see you. Friend of Dwed, welcome in. Right, now, our flight plan, we have it here on Navigraph. The flight plan is available to download over on our Discord server. ! Discord. That'll get you in. So we're going to start off here in the ancient city of Athens, right? The Greeks were a mad bunch of lads, right? They were trying to figure out different governments, democracy, Jesus, you name it now. We can list all the different kind of government types that they were trying out. Democracy was kind of just after taking shape here. But anyway, we're going to be departing out of Athens and we're heading out towards the Gulf here, out near Corinth. And our first landing is just over here. And it's quite nice. It's straight across the island here. The statue is located on the hill of ancient Olympia. Olympia, friends, that's where the Olympic Games are held. And then from there, we're going to head all the way down to the southeast to the lonely island of this place. And we shall do a landing at, how did I pronounce it? I forget how I pronounce it. What's it called? Alexandros Aristotelios Onassi. Anyway, it's Kythira, I believe, right? Dictatorship, yeah, that was one of them. And let me see, was there no ladder? No ladder. I flew the 208 while working in Colombia. Be the Jesus, Colombia. That would have been nice. But yeah, so that's our flight plan, VF4, and you can see where the altitude might kind of hit us. Live weather at the moment, it's actually quite beautiful here. If we have a look at it, nothing hitting this neck of the woods, clear blue skies. So I said, well, we don't want that. So I've added in just a default kind of a template. I'm using a few clouds. So if you want to have an LGKC of it, a few clouds, that's how she's going to look. And that's the weather that we're getting here in the sim. So the Grand Caravan, we've already spoken about it. What Blacksquare have done with this aircraft, which you can pick up through Just Flight, it's a steam gauge overhaul, but it's not just, you know, a cosmetic upgrade to the aircraft. They've made this plane study level because they've added in so much detail and simulations. A ridiculous amount, right? And where, you know, it may not be up there with their latest releases in terms of, we say, the TBM or the Dukes, because they were standalone aircraft. This one here, it just upgrades the default Cessna 208 we get in the sim. So there are a couple of kind of, you know, we can't open the doors or any of that jazz, but in terms of how the aircraft flies, it's unbelievable. I'm also using a custom sound set. This is from FT Sim. And if you head on over to his Patreon, you can get access to all his sound files. And I gotta say, some of them are absolutely incredible. They're game-changing. Do you know? Epic Fool is here. Good to see you. He says, they made it such a high study level, Murph will jump out of it later. Right? Brilliant. Now, is it posted a possible solution for the Caravan pilot issue, Nighthawk? Thank you, Nighthawk. Now, let me see. Squawk says, is there... Oh no, it's there where they found the ancient Greek computer or a small island off the coast called Jesus. Kythira. And Kythira? Interesting, Squawk. Interesting. So this is our machine. Visually, it's identical on the outside. It's only when we get to the inside, well, this is where you can see all the work that Blacksquare have done. Completely transformed the default 208 into a steam gauged office. And it's only gorgeous, right? This is only gorgeous, and this is what we're going to be flying in. So, friends, we're going to start off with a couple of checks. So, our pre-flight checks, we need to check a couple of check. And I'm using a flight plan, not a flight plan. I'm using a checklist. This is from JD. You can pick these up over on flightsim.to. JD, he makes content as well, usually in German, does a bit of English stuff, and he has checklists for a ton of aircraft. And these are excellent. These are the checklists I use, and they're not just for general aviation. He does airliners with this stuff as well. Highly detailed and very, very good. So this is what I'm following here for the moment, so just bear with me. So we're going to have a look at our pre-flight. I've loaded 90% into our fuel, so we have sufficient fuel for today's journey. Control locks have been removed. Let me see, the parking brake is set. All our switches are off. Circuit breakers, these are all modelled now with the steam gauge overhaul. So we just double check. Yep, they're all in. We're looking good. What else we need to do? Alternate air, static air is off. Inertial separator is in the normal position. That's just here to the right hand side. Standby flap motor is off. Oxygen supply pressure I need to check. Oxygen up here. Yeah, we got about 1850. That'll do. Fuel tank selectors both on. We have a left and a right. Fuel tanks are now turned to on. Let me see here now. Fuel tank ventilation fans off. Bleed air switch is off. Emergency power lever is in the normal position. Trim controls need to be set, which they are neutral and neutral. What about rudder and trim? All good. Aileron, all good. Trims are set. Let me see. Fuel shut off knob needs to go to the in position. That's just down here. That's the armrest. Get rid of the armrest, please. That's grand. Fuel shut off valve has been depressed. And get out of the way, arm pad. Or armrest. Cabin heat firewall shut off control checked. Weather radar off. Battery switch will now come on. And we'll just do a quick check to make sure that we have sufficient power. So over here, battery switch. And on. Annunciator tablet is coming up. There's nothing screaming or shouting at me. All is looking well in the realm. And we can see volts are looking good here as well. And go ahead, turn it off briefly. Outside check would then start, right? How do I move this gadget across? Right, so we're going to do our startup. And we're not using any sort of external power. We're just going to start up the aircraft as it is, right? As it is. So, cabin doors are already closed. Parking brake set. Control lock's already done. Ignition switch needs to be set to normal, which is ignition set to normal. Now, so battery light switch is going to come on. Nav light is going to come on. So, battery coming on. Nav light and beacon, they're coming on. Disappear the yoke here for a moment. Get some more interior lights looking, because this is a very, very beautiful aircraft. Now, let me see. Power lever is to idle. Prop full. Fuel shut off is already in. And let me see. Fire detection test. So we're going to do our fire detection. That's working good. Lamp test, looking good. And that's all looking good to me. So, engine start. So we need to get the fuel booster switch on. So come on over here. Fuel booster. Normal. And then we'll put it on to on. The ignition switch, we're going to put due to on. Ignition switch is now on. And we can see the light came on here to say our auxiliary pump is on and our ignition switch is on. Super duper. Generator light needs to go on, and then we'll test it to make sure it's working. So gen light says off. And then we'll trip it to say it's still off. Once we get an engine start up, we will then horse in the generator, and that takes pressure off the battery. Auxiliary fuel pump is already on. Engine start, so let me see here now. That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. And that looks good. Right, friends, so to start the engine, what we're going to do, it is a PT6, so we need to be fierce handy with the startup. We're going to allow the RPM start to increase. Once we get to about, I think it's about 18 to 20, then we introduce some fuel, and we're going to monitor our ITT. It will spike, but we just need to make sure it does not bypass this red figure here, otherwise that's an uh-oh number, right? So, our little window's open, clear prop. And we want to go for a start on this machine. Lights are already on, good to go. Starter mode is here. We're going to engage the starter. And now we wait. RPM coming alive. And you'll see the prop spinning here now in a moment. There we go. Prop start to spin at 15. Keep her climbing. There's 18. It's going to hold at around 19. That'll do her. Fuel coming in. Now, monitor the ITT for a hot start. Keep an eye on our NG for a hung start. And we're going to peak out at around 890 degrees. RPM is past 40. We're going to wait till it hits to 50. It's past 50. Starter can now be disengaged. Okay, so generator needs to be activated. Generator light has come off. And that's a good start on this machine. So we'll go ahead and put on our avionics. And you can see all your instruments and dials starting to come alive here. Really, really good, right? Now while we're here, we're going to reset our baro. That's to get our barometric pressure set up. And we have our Bendix King HSI here as well. Right, go ahead and get the window closed. Now we're still looking good. Quick check down here. Battery's on. Fuel booster normal. Generator's okay. Ignition normal. Starter is off. Avionics is up and running. That's all looking good. We have our de-icers here. Don't need those for the moment. We might put on our pitot heat just in case. No smoke and seatbelt and cabin lights are activated. Strobes, leave them off. Landing lights, leave them off. Taxi light, will go ahead and pop it on. Checking our voltages here, so our generator is looking good. Alternator holding at 0, battery 0, and our volts are strong. So the generator is doing all the work. We also need to keep an eye on the interior cabin temperature, right? So we have a low or a high temperature warning, because they've actually modelled all the environmental controls. It's currently 27 degrees inside, or that's giving us 80 Fahrenheit. That's a little bit warm. So I'm going to come down here to my air conditioning. We're going to set it to cool, and we're going to go ahead and pop up the fans. Now, the bleed air system, not going to worry about that just yet. And hopefully this temperature, you can see it now, 26 degrees, that will start dropping. So we're going to ramble in here to our GTN 750 and then our GNS 430. And we got a lot of options when it comes to this equipment. We can also see over here on our weather radar, there's no tablet that works on the Grand Caravan, unfortunately. But all the systems damages and failures, there's over 100 failures for this aircraft, well, you find them all in here. So we have everything set to normal, engine condition is 100%, and well, the weather radar unfortunately doesn't work. Now, altitude, we're going to set 3000 into the gadget. What else we need to do? Nav sources, we're going to leave it on nav. We can go by VOR or we'll go by GPS. So by hitting your CDI, course deviation indicator, we're going to keep it on GPS. And a quick zoom out where we can see, yes, we're going to depart Athens and we're heading straight across. My map is red. I have terrain options turned on, or you can turn that off. Terrain is fierce handy. It'll just show you by colour. Red is danger, green is caution, and then, well, if you don't see any colours, you're laughing. So I tend to fly with that on quite a bit, and because we are going over some mountainous terrain, well, we're going to turn it on, right? Hey, Patrick is here. Good to see you, Patrick. You're very welcome aboard. Now, what else we have here? In terms of all our nav systems, we have a KNS 50, which is excellent. VOR, RNAV, we can do a whole load of stuff with this if we want to. The joy is, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. Now, cabin temperature has dropped now to 19 degrees. It's going to be getting cold, so I'm now going to turn these little devils off. Super duper. Interior lighting is all here. You have 2 switches for each. You have an inner knob and an outer knob. I like some of the other lights a bit better. That's looking good. Inertia separator, haven't bothered with it. Bypass pull or normal. I'm leaving it in the normal position. What else do we need to do here now? That looks good. That looks good. Quick check. They're all looking good. Super duper. We're now going to put our mixture, or not our mixture, our, well, it is mixture, but your condition lever. We're going to stick it into full. And we should see an increase in RPM and torque. There's a little bit of a jump. And now let's just go outside and listen to these new sounds. They're from FT Sim. And as I said, you can grab these just by subscribing to them over on Patreon. So we'll have a listen, right? And we'll give it a small bit of a rev just to see what you think. It's an incredible sound upgrade over the default WY sounds. And the good news is, it's not just the engines. There's ground roll effects, there's avionics effects. $5 a month, you get access to not only this, but all the sounds he makes. FT Sim, have a look. Beautiful. Sounds 3-bladed, couldn't tell you. Right, friends, so transponder is our next little gadget. Do I have a standard transponder? I do. Stick it onto standby mode. We're flying in under VFR conditions. After engine start, we're okay. Before taxi, good. Autopilot. We're going to test the autopilot just before we go. Just want to make sure the system is working. So we're going to put in our heading bug. And just make sure this is working as intended. So sync this fella, put it up to our current heading on the aircraft, right? There it should be. So our autopilot unit, which is here. I'm going to engage the autopilot. Autopilot on. Heading mode. Now, if I turn the heading indicator, well, the yoke should start moving. See the yoke moving? So I know that the autopilot servos are now operational. Let's move it to the left. and the yokes will move to the left. Okay, autopilot system is working. Go ahead and recenter that and autopilot off. And there's the warning. All is looking good. Alright, so our taxi light and reco lights are already turned on. Transponder will stick it to the on mode while we're on the ground. We're squawking 7,000. And from here, lads, a departure out of Athens. We're going to aim for a runaway, because it's very calm, 21 left. Runway 21 left. Alright? And we'll get some multiplayer action turned on here now in a moment. So the parking brake coming off. Advancing the throttle just a little bit. We'll start rolling. And then we got to test the brakes. Touch the brakes. Brakes are working. All is looking good. Next up, we're going to test the operation of the flaps. So as we're taxiing here, we're going to go down 1 notch of flaps. And bring them all the way down. That's full flaps. Flaps are looking good. Bring them all the way home. And we'll re-engage the flaps just before takeoff. Just like magic, isn't it? Alright, onto the taxiway. Isn't this a beautiful airplane? Like, some of the modelling on it, it's superb, lads. I just wish it got the same treatment of what we've seen with, you know, their TBM or the Dukes. Because the Grand Caravan, it's one of my favourite aircraft. It's kind of just that trusty machine that'll get you in and out of pretty much anywhere. And it's pretty cool, right? One of these flies in the real world, there's one of these operating out of Cardiff, I think. It's out of Cardiff or Bristol. And they do flights into Dublin every night. Every night. So we'll put on our Rambog moored dashboard, exclamation point wheel if you want to know what that is. And we're going to activate our multiplayer servers. And let's hope that the old gods and the new play nice, right? I'm running scenery here as well. This is from Fly Tampa for Athens. And it's exceptionally good. Really good. So there's a bit of custom scenery in it tonight. Sky Camry, good to see you. So it's not the default Caravan. It's called the Steam Gauge Overhaul. Now, if you're in the default Caravan, still a great aircraft. You're going to have your Garmin G1000 units. But this really adds a ton of features. Failures, wear and tear, all your electrical systems work, all your avionics options, your navigation options, you know, environmental controls. 25 degrees now in the cabin. It's getting warmer. It's excellent. And it's not expensive. I think it was at 25 bucks. Murph, it's over there. What's over where? Jeez, we got a lot of people here. Look, this is awesome. So we shall line ourselves up here, runway 21. And we should be grand. We're at hotel here. There's also a lot of helipads at Athens as well. Beautiful location. Now, time of day I have a set in the sim, lads. If you want to match 8:30 in the morning. 8:30 in the morning, right? Right, so as we're approaching an active runway, drop a notch of flaps. Follow the taxiway around. Go left here. We got a good few people with us, lads. This is awesome. So it's a combination of aviation. That's why we're here. We love aviation. Jesus, there's logs! Ah, brilliant! The logs. We love aviation and everything to do with it. And it's a nice kind of mix, aviation and history. Right, landing lights coming on. Strobes coming on. Altitude mode on our transponder. Weather radar has been activated. Not going to do much. And we're going to line up and wait. There's an absolute barrel load of aircraft here. So many different aircraft. I love that. I love that. I love that you guys just say, sod it, I'm flying this machine tonight. It's kind of busy here now, so... On delay, bush, arriba. Jesus, there's even an osprey there. So as you guys start taking off, it's going to be a left-hand pattern out of Athens. And I just want to make sure here everything is set up and good to go. 3,000 feet, we're going to go ahead and pop that in. We're going to turn our heading bug all the way over to runway heading. That's going to be about 213, I think, or 212, depending on the actual heading of the runway. We'll pop it over there. What else do we need to do? If you wanted to change your avionics, you have a little switch over here, and we can hot swap this from this GTN 750, hop in a 530. We have a KX 155 here as well. We can even go with our navigation systems, swap it out to a KX 155. See this? That's how handy that works. And that'll probably shut this unit off. It'll have to, you know, come back to life. There she be. And for this one now, I can actually change this. So if I go into nav, let's move it down the road a bit. We can go to waypoint auxiliary. Can we go to traffic, I think? Nav. So here's our traffic. So if I go ahead and turn this fella on, ADS to on. And enter that. So ADS is on. This is going to show me other aircraft in the vicinity. Now it might start beep, 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 beep the whole time. So we'll see what happens, right? One Fly Air, good to see you. Right, time to line up. Everyone is on their way. We got Vision Jets, Kodiaks, Grand Caravans. You name it, we have it. Right, into position. Power levers are good. Flaps are set for 10 degrees for takeoff. We're going to adjust a small bit of pitch trim. We've got a Duke there ahead of us, looking good. All right, down to our trim. We're going to put nose down a little bit. Roughly there, because I don't want the thing popping up before we go. Right, friends. Southeast Asian server, we're good to go. We're walking, talking. We're now squawking. Let's go flying. And there's the takeoff power. Airspeed alive. There's 60 knots. There's 80. We're getting light now. Oopsie daisy. And just like that, she wants to fly. Positive rate and indicated. Man, this airplane sounds so good with these new sounds. Amazing. Speed 110, 300 feet, flaps in. The nose will drop. So we'll add in a small bit of trim here just to keep us on the straight and narrow. Speed 120, 500. We're kind of trimmed off there now. Small bit of aileron trim, bit of rudder trim just to help us out. And there we go. Beautiful views, man. Look at that airport down there. It's huge, isn't it? Hey, you got a working train, look. There's a train at the airport. Brilliant. There's IKEA. Only at IKEA. Man, look at that countryside. Beautiful. Whoa. Car DGM and a Corsair, look. Beautiful. PS Miranda, good to see you, man. Right. Look at the state of this, friends. So we're going to continue climbing. Autopilot can help us out here, so let's just go to heading mode. Autopilot, heading mode, and we're going to climb at, we want to go 3,000 feet, which is armed. And we're going to shallow the climb out a little bit, call it 500 feet per minute, and we're going to start reducing some of this power. So, bring our torque back a little bit. About 1,800. RPM is looking fine. We're grand. IGT is looking good. Fuel quantities. Have a look at the fuel, lads. So do you see these fuel needles, right? If you look at them very, very carefully, they're moving around. It's actually simulating, you know, the swash and the swoosh. Swoosh? You know what I mean? There's water or fuel in the tanks. It's simulating that. Because your fuel tanks in the real world, depending on the aircraft, the devils move, right? So it's going to be a left turn coming in. And as we do this, friends, well, if you're currently flying along on Xbox, do be sure to press number 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. And if you're here scratching your head, just wondering what the Statue of Zeus is all about, well, you press number 3. Press the button. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. at the state of that. Absolutely gorgeous. And we've tons of people flying along with us as well. Beautiful stuff, lads. We got 43 in the PC, 2 on console, 195 people wondering, what is this Statue of Zeus thing all about? With only 224 days to the Eurovision. Thank you very much, Keen. Super Ty helping us out as well. Cheers, my guys. Right, so we're heading back towards the airport in which we will overfly, and we're going to branch out to the left-hand side. We're going to be picking up a course roughly 272 degrees, and our plan is take us out over Athens. So we've now reached our cruising altitude for the moment, 3,000 feet, and we're just keeping an eye on our temps and pressures. Oil pressure is in and around 94. Or pressure, sorry, is 94. Temperature is about 60, 65. Fuel is looking good. Fuel quantities are still absolutely fine. Cabin temperature, see the way it dropped now because we're off the ground? Yeah, you gotta love it. It's all simulated. IGT is quite okay. RPM is a little bit high. We're going to dial this back a little bit. So we're currently sitting on 20. And as we do this, watch the torque, because they kind of talk to each other. So RPM, drop it back there to about 18. Torque, we're going to hold it at 18. And let's have a look now. So our main NG is looking okay. ITT has dropped a little bit. And then our oil pressure will drop. Temperature should come down. And then the rest should be tickety-boo. Right? Should be tickety-boo. So we're going to be approaching a left-hand turn now, lads. So hard starboard. No. Yeah, starboard. Man, Murph, you got there. So let's head in a westerly direction. About 270-ish degrees. Taran, thank you very much indeed for the follow. Welcome in, man. So heading dead west is 270 degrees. We're going to aim for about 272, give or take, because we want to overfly some of Athens as well. The airport below, it is that from Flight Tampa. They've done an incredible job, working trains as well. And we'll even have helicopters parked down there somewhere. Massive car park there as well. Cargo terminal. There's a whole load of stuff going on. So Flight Tampa make just extraordinary scenery. Beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Purple Kona, good to see you. Port. Starboard is right, port is left. Don't follow me. Purple Kona, congrats on 10k followers, Murph. Thank you very much indeed. It just couldn't be done without you guys. Why in the name of... I couldn't tell you, but thank you very much indeed. Right? Brilliant. But yes. Speed is looking good. 160 over the ground. Well, 160 indicated. 175 over the ground. And has he been on the port or the gin? Listen, we just don't know. We just don't know. Right, quick check now on our systems. Landing lights, we're finished with those. We'll keep our Rico lights on. Just, we're quite low. And, oh, we got a Sabre flying with us. I was brushing up my skills on the T-33. Not from Mini Bills. Man, that's a really good jet. It's a jet trainer, but, ooh, it's really, really good. And me, a Marine man, I was artillery. Artillery, right? That was my background. Freaking air defense as well. How ironic is that? Murphy trained to shoot these things out of the sky. I was fairly handy at the old aircraft recognition, though. Do you know? Yeah, it's a plane. No, it's a bird. Alright, low ground here, but we're quite okay. Man, look at the reveal of that city. The city of Athens. And over here, well, we have some landmarks. We have different stadiums. And of course, we're going to see the Parthenon. Or the Pantheon. The Pantheon. No, wait. The Parthenon. What's in Greece? The Pantheon. No, the Parthenon. Right, the Parthenon. It's over there, look. I'll show you, look. If you don't believe me, lads. It's all the way over there, up in the hill, look. Look at the cut of that, look. The Acropolis. Parthenon or the Acropolis. Greece, of course, invented by the Irish back in 1987. We did a lot of work to the place. Yes, yes. Jeez, look at the view. Man alive, that's gorgeous. And our formation of aircraft flying along with us. Look at the flying circus. You gotta love it. Look at that. Oh, the noise of that jet. What's that? Hello? Starbug is in the Aviate Harrier. Beautiful. Look at the cut of that thing. Jesus. Ah, the Greeks. A great bunch of lads. Look at that, though. Isn't that gorgeous? Like, we talk about history. Like, the cradle of the cradle of civilization, the hotspot of the cradle of the Western world, I suppose, right? What's the aircraft to my right? That's a Corsair. That's probably from Blackbird Simulations, formerly Milviz. Beautiful. Right, okay, let's tidy up. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. We need a course correction down on the left hand, change our heading, and we're going to arm our nav mode. So come over here, nav, GPS, it'll probably pick it up itself. We're fairly close to it. And let's see what happens here. So yeah, you can see that our traffic indicator with our ADS, it's screaming at us to say you have so many aircraft in close proximity. Look at the amount of aircraft. Look, that's ridiculous. Traffic, 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 traffic. That's all it would say, right? The one on the left, that's the Duke. That's a piston Duke. No props be swim thing. Nighthawk is down having a closer look. Get us a key ring or something. Let's have a look now. So we're flying on an intercept now to our waypoint, 160 knots, and we're just going to be flying across the beautiful Greek countryside. Babylon was before Greece, had quite a nice civilization. Babylon fascinates me. And even prior to them, the Sumerians of Gilgamesh and all these sort of lads. And then, of course, the Persians. Fascinating stuff, lads, right? So, information. Story time with Murph. So, Athens International Airport, where we just left, it is that of a modern airport, but carries the weight of thousands of years of history, with Athens itself the cradle of Western civilization. The Greeks, of course, profound contributions to like art, culture, philosophy, the Olympic Games, right? Walking around in the nip. A great bunch of lads, the Greeks. So yes, it is the Acropolis and the Parthenon, and also the temple of, is it Hephaestus, I believe. It was a key city-state in ancient Greece, and that's what made Greece terribly interesting. It wasn't just one singular nation. It became a singular nation after, of course, the triumphs of Alexander the Great, son of King Philip from Macedon, Philip II. Alexander then went bananas and pretty much conquered the known world, or at least anything around the Mediterranean. Fascinating stuff, right? As we head west, we're going to be heading out over the Gulf of Corinth. It's a body of water separating mainland Greece and also the Peloponnese Peninsula. Did anyone ever get a chance to go here? Has anyone in the chat, have you guys ever been to Greece? Have you been to Athens? Have you gone out this neck of the woods? Would you believe it? I haven't. At all. I haven't. I've never been. Because I've always like, don't mind the Greeks. I'm Roman history. But the more I'm learning even on this series that we're doing, and I'm reading up, my mind is blown away by some of the things here. It's really, really interesting stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to go there. So, the airport we're heading over to is that of Araxos, or Araxos, or Araxos. I can't pronounce it. Lima Golf Romeo X-Ray. It's on the western side of the Peloponnese Peninsula. It's a military and civilian airport, providing convenient stop to refuel and stretch your legs before we head on towards Olympia. It's near Patras, Greece's third largest city, or Greece's third largest city, known for its medieval castles, Ottoman architecture, and of course a vibrant culture. The Rio Antiro Bridge, stunning bridge, connects the Peloponnese to mainland Greece, and we should be overflying that fairly close to it. It was a very important city during the Roman Empire. Today it houses many Roman era ruins, such as an amphitheatre and even an aqueduct. So that's our first airport. That's where we're heading. So we're going to start learning a little bit about the Statue of Zeus at Olympus. The monumental Statue of Zeus at Olympia in Greece, it was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was created in the 430s BC under the supervision of the master Greek sculptor Phidias, or Phidias. The huge ivory and gold statue, it was bigger than even that of Athena, which was inside the Parthenon. The same sculptor built the one of Athena, and he built this one, which was even bigger. So what of the area we're going to, Olympia? Well, it wasn't just a religious centre, it was also a major hub for cultural exchange and competition. Athletes from across the Greek world, Sicily, Asia Minor and mainland Greece would gather to compete for glory, symbolised by a simple olive wreath. The games promoted unity among the often fractious Greek city-states. And what's interesting, we talk about the Olympics when they started, and they took every 4 years. And well, how did they start? I mean, most of it was done by kind of races, horse-drawn chariot, all that sort of jazz. But then as they kind of evolved, more sports were added. Wrestling was one of them. Greek wrestling was a big thing. Training for the Olympics was very similar to those training to be soldiers, war, military training. But it also kind of showed, you include mythology and all this jazz, as the Greeks, of course, did. But when you look at the Olympics today, the Summer Games, which is probably the closest thing we still have to the Olympics, right? You see that these are lifetime careers. They're a lifetime of training to get into the Olympics. It was no different back then. They were held every 4 years. That's how they measured kind of the Olympic Games, or, the Olympics as they called them. And there was other names for them. We'll get through it here now in a little bit. So, worshipped by pilgrims from across the Mediterranean, the statue inspired countless imitations and defined the standard representations of Zeus in the Greek and Roman art when it came to sculpture, coins, pottery, and even gemstones. Phidias, the master sculptor and architect, who had already supervised construction of the Parthenon in 447 to 432 BC in Athens, and its giant statue of the city's patron goddess Athena, was called on once again to produce a similarly monumental sculpture of Zeus. The location was to be that of Olympia. There was a brand new temple just after being built, and they wanted him to put the statue in the temple. Every 4 years, the Pan-Hellenic Olympic Games were dedicated to it. The Olympics first started in around 776 BC, and they ran all the way up to about 393 AD. Then there was a gap for quite some time. The Romans got involved. We'll learn a little bit about that. Theodosius was the mad devil who put a stop to it. Emperor Theodosius. It's fair to say he was a bit of a god, right? But we'll learn about kind of what happened after. Caligula features in this story as well. The mad emperor. Well, Nero was the mad emperor, but Caligula was like a devil, right? But anyway. Olympia back then was controlled by the polis city-state of Elis, and the sacred site attracted thousands of travellers, pilgrims and sports fans from all across the Mediterranean. Phidias was the perfect choice for what would be a challenging project requiring hundreds of craftsmen and several years, about 12 years of work. The master sculptor moved to Olympia, and excavations of the 20th century revealed that his workshop, which contained a simple red figure, an Attic cup, or wine jug perhaps, inscribed in Greek, "I belong to Phidias." He wrote that on his cup. The Greeks, back then, he wrote on his cup, "I belong to Phidias." So if you were to pick up your man's cup, it would say, "I belong to Murph." Oh Jesus, that's Murph's cup. Isn't that brilliant? I love that. And the Romans kind of followed on with that sort of thinking as well. Now we've shocking terrain ahead, and our terrain radar is doing the job. See the way it's red? Red. We're in trouble. So we could climb out over this immediately. Let's go 4,000. Arm it and V speed. No. Arm. Alt. V speed. Up you get your devil. We're in a fairly powerful aircraft. 1,200 feet per minute. That'll get us over the hump. And we continue on. The workshop also contained ivory tools, a small hammer for working gold, and moulds for pieces of a large female statue. Phidias was part of the Pericles inner circle. Pericles, from 495 to 429 BC, was a prominent Greek statesman, an orator, and a general during the Golden Age of Athens. The period in which he led Athens, in fact, has been called the Age of Pericles due to his influence. So he was in with the right people, right? The right people. The statue of mighty Zeus was about 40 feet high, and it represented the god seated on the throne. It was bigger than that of even Phidias' Athens or Athena statue back in Athens. The Zeus statue, like Athena, it was built by, it was a wooden frame. What's my altitude now? What do we say, 4.5? 4.5 will do you, Murph. There we go. It was a wooden frame, and what they did then, they put all sorts of gold and ivory and stuff, right, all over it. Combination of gold, ivory over a wooden core, with the god's face, torso, arms and legs being an ivory, and his beard, robes and staff rendered in brilliant gold, applied in a hammered sheet. Fine details were picked out using a wide variety of materials, silver, copper, glass, for the decorative lilies on the god's robes. Even put flowers on the thing. Ebony, enamel, paint and jewels were also used, and the clay molds discovered in the workshop for a similar statue suggest that it was first erected in pieces in the workshop and then dragged across into the temple. The wooden core could not have been fully sculpted, or the molds would have been, you just wouldn't have carried them in. Too big and too heavy. The throne, made using ivory, ebony and gold, and encrusted with glass and gems, was embellished with relief sculptures depicting a wide range of figures from Greek mythology, many of which have been considered the offspring of Zeus. There are the Graces, the Charities, the Seasons of Hore, various Nike or Nikes, also Sphinx. So you know the Sphinx, which is mad, right? So we all know the Great Sphinx of you know, by the pyramids. Well, a sphinx was kind of a creature that had the body of a lion, the wings of a dragon, and the head of a woman. I'm just saying, right? I mean, let's put that on the hill. It'll scare the life out of everyone, right? She who must be obeyed. But they had all of these etched onto the throne. Fascinating stuff, right? They also had the children of Niobe. Which is a bit of a mad story behind that, because they were all depicted being killed, you know, by Apollo and all these lads. The Greeks were mad. They had a funny way of telling stories, do you know? The screens between the legs of the throne were painted by Phidias' brother, depicted the labours of Hercules, Achilles, and also that of the Pensilia, the Hippodamia, along with the Salamis and the scenes of Greece. The god rested his feet upon a footstool, which is decorated with a battle scene involving Theseus fighting the Amazons. Right? The figure of Zeus, throne and stool were all placed on the base of a black Eleusinian marble, which measured about 10 metres by 6 metres along the sides. The base was decorated with scenes of the birth of Aphrodite, and then finally the base was signed by Phidias with the words, Phidias, son of Charmide, an Ethian, made me. He signed it off to say who and what he was. And anyone who likes kind of the you know, the Roman stuff, if you look at any of the Roman graves, they're written in Latin, you know. And to identify yourself in the ancient world, you kind of had to say what you did. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at some kind of graves now. Like, I could be wrong, but like George Best, isn't there like a football or a football boot on his grave? I could be wrong on that, but they need to associate what it is they did, right? Back in the ancient world, it was no different. Well, you want to be at 4,500 feet. Why did you climb us higher, you devil? So we're slightly higher. Let's have a look. 4,500 feet. Arm that, please. Arm that, and drop us down. So you couldn't just say, you know, Phidias of Athena. Who was it? And the Romans followed suit. The Romans did the exact same thing. This is the Gulf of Corinth. Corinth is located just over here. The ancient city of Corinth, right? And, you know, if you want to get into Roman history, the importance of that, blocking the ports, taking over all these regions, but also the Greeks themselves. Fascinating stuff. But in the real world, Corinth, it's supposed to be beautiful. I mean, Look at that scenery we have out the window. I mean, look at the cut of that, lads. Isn't that beautiful? So this is like the Bay of Corinth. Corinth is over there. You can see where the harbour is in the background. But like, just look at the area. You're surrounded by these gorgeous mountains. Absolutely stunning, look. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. Stunning. That's the wrong button completely, Murphy. It's grand, we're still alive. Jeez, that was Wombat. He's in the Bonanza. I want to travel there now. Beautiful scenery. Isn't it gorgeous? Narrows of Corinth to your left, says Nightsep. The Narrows of Corinth. Isn't it something else, lads, isn't it? Speaking of ancient, listen to the oldest song, the Horarian hymn invented by the Irish in 1400 BC. Wasn't there one from the Sumerians? Super Thai. And there's a fella playing it, because they actually wrote it down. They actually wrote the stuff down, you know. But I thought it was fierce interesting. Back then, how do you, like, they didn't have social security numbers in the ancient world. They didn't have what we have today. How do you identify yourself? And a lot of names in Greek and Roman times, well, you would carry your father's name. And the women all tend to be called the same as well. So, like, how does one identify, right? And the Greeks were a mad bunch of lads. They were very open about everything. You name it, right? They were as laid back as you can possibly get. Government types, orientation of all types, right? The Greeks were mad devils, do you know? So much so they inspired the Romans. And, jeez, there goes a tornado. Right, now we're over here. So the statue, it stood in front of a shallow pool diluted of pure olive oil, as opposed to water, which was the case over in the statue of Athena. It helped keep the atmosphere moist and impede any cracking of the ivory pieces. The reflection of the statue in the pool was a bonus side effect to add its aura of the otherworldliness. The finished statue was dedicated in 430 BC. The temple in which housed it, well, in the 5th century, the sanctuary of Olympia reached its peak of prosperity. And a massive Doric 6x13 column temple began in 460 BC, completed in 457 BC. It was designed by Liban of Elis, and it was the biggest in Greece at the time. It was over 20 meters high. The pediments of the temple displayed magnificent sculptures. On the east side, you had this mythical chariot race between Palpus and Onomaus. And on the western pediment, the battle scene between the Centaurus with the majestic central figures of Apollo. Many of these decorative figure sculptures survive today, and they can be seen of the Museum of Archaeology on site at Olympia. So they actually have a lot of this stuff still there. So we've a few more to get in, but we'll keep that until we get to the site. Quick check on our aircraft and how it's behaving. But would it attract the Italians? Right, Dibby G is here, good to see you. Am I going to clear these mountains? It's not looking terribly great. Let us consult our onboard navigation systems. The red is where I'm terrified. So, oh Jesus, look. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we're going to need to climb because we have mountainous maximi along the way. So we're currently set to 4,500 feet. I do think we're going to need about 5.5 to clear. Pop in 5,500 feet, arm it, and we're going to up the arrow 500 feet per minute. Keeping an eye on our power settings. We can see our torque, our RPM, and our ITT. We have plenty of redundancy here. We can increase our power here if we wish. So increase the torque. Hold it at about 19. Keep an eye on our ITT, and all the jazz should be working. Fuel is looking good. Fuel flow is looking good. And what else do we want to do here now? Quick check. So suction system's still working. That's fine. That's a vacuum system. Electrical systems are working. We're not using any anti-ice on the props. And a very quick check down on any of our circuit breakers. They're all looking good as well. Cabin temperature inside 14 degrees. Starting to get a little bit chilly. We'll go ahead and turn on our bleed air system. Now we'll probably get a little drop in our airspeed as we climb. Another 500 to go. So temperature, I can go ahead and bring that up a smidgen. about halfway. And we're going to ventilate the cabin. Pop a vent here too. And what else we need to do? Let me see. Cabin heat. Defrost, aft cabin, forward cabin. Put it right in the middle. 15 degrees. Now we can put on the aircon fans, but like, let's just see if this starts climbing itself, right? 15 degrees, little bit on the... It's comfortable, you know. But kind of 17 to 20 degrees, that's what we're aiming for, right? But yeah, isn't it fascinating though? There's 16 degrees, so she's starting to climb. Isn't it fascinating though when we consider, you know, the history? We see the Olympic Games today, and it's at Olympia. There's a small little fountain thingy there. That's what they light. That's what they light, the torch, the famous Olympic torch. And like some of the games back then, like a lot of it was, as I said, racing, chariot racing. Then they got into like, you know, javelin. Then they got into wrestling, right? Discus throwing, relay races, all that sort of jazz. And they used to do it in the nip. There's one for you now, lads. They used to do the Olympic Games in the nip because it was a sign of purity. And they didn't make, you know, Reebok or spandex clothing to make them run and look faster, you know, for aerodynamic purposes. Nike, even though Nike was there, or Nike. Do you know the sign of Nike or Nike and Adidas or Adidas? Yeah? The Greeks, right? Bring back the nude Olympics. I wish I knew more about history of my homeland. DBG! Dude, it's fascinating. And like, as I said, all of this happened. How we know about it and how they became so popular, it's because of the triumphs and the expansion of Alexander, right? And what was done in the Greek world, because now you had uniformity, you had language. Everyone spoke Greek. They could read and write in Greek. And philosophy took on a huge thing. They started thinking outside of the box. Astronomy, all that jazz. The sciences, when it came to the Greeks, they were miles ahead. Some of the belief systems, I mean, Zeus being, you know, king of the gods, the god of thunder, the god of sky, right? That's what Zeus was. And you had other gods, right? You had, what's your man's name? The water fella or the sea? Surely you know what I'm talking about. The god of the sea. Poseidon. There you go. Go on, Captain Gaiman. Poseidon, right? And these were like the gods, but like they were somewhat mortalized, yet they were divine. Poseidon seemingly was married to a fella, like Poseidon all about the sea and the battles then, and because Poseidon was on his side, that's kind of how they believe things. And Zeus, right? Zeus, of all the pagan gods, if you like, the Greek gods, well, the ones that the Romans adapted, they changed their names. And they took some of them with them, and others they left, right? So, you know, Mars, and, Zeus wasn't called Zeus. Anyone know what Zeus was called in the Roman world? Right? The god of Egyptization, right? Jupiter, right? And Jupiter, this is where the story goes. You had Jupiter, and then you had, you know, Julie, or the Julii, descendants all the way down. Neptune was in there as well. Bob, his name is Bob. Every nation had their own gods. They absolutely did. But the Romans, of course, they, you know, the famous saying, they came, they saw, they conquered. But the Romans did one step more than any other civilization prior to that. They came, they saw, they conquered, but then they assimilated. The Romans assimilated, and they included all these other gods within their own way. That was the Pax Romanus. That's how the Roman way, that's how they managed to grow so fast. Because they included all these pagan gods. They just Romanized them. It was a genius move, right? But yeah, the importance of Zeus in the Greek world. He was the man. However, he wasn't without his kind of worries, or his kind of weaknesses. he was married. His wife, she wasn't terribly fond of what Zeus used to get up to. And he was distracted by the mortal things of, you know, violence and, you know, staying out late on a Saturday night, if you know what I mean, Fidelma. All that kind of stuff. And it was to kind of humanize this great divine. And that's what kind of made the connection to, well, everyone else. It's just a guy, right? The Daleks assimilated. The Borg assimilated. Having a Guinness. I heard about the Roman calendar too. Choosing other religious dates into the Roman calendar. Yeah. The complete Greek sagas about their gods is like a giant soap opera. It really is. It's fascinating stuff. Jesus, we're going to need more altitude. The Romans also assimilated Scorpio. What do you reckon? 7.5? Jesus. Balls, what did I do? 7.6? Gave us 500. 7.5. A mad bunch of lads, yeah. Federico, this is 2020. I remember I was 6 or 7 years of age. I have the book here somewhere because my dad brought it in. In school, my school teacher, Miss McKibben was her name. She was a lovely woman. And she was a religious teacher. That'll tell you, right? She had a hard job. But she gave me a present of a book.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
My dad was away. He was overseas, I think, for like... he was overseas at the UN for like a long stint. It was like 9 months or something. And she got me this book. And it was all about Greek mythology.
Hey, good buddy.
And now it blew me sideways. The information, I was like, what? All the mythology, all the stories, you know, the Cyclops and Hercules and, you know, Alex, all of these things. Fascinating stuff. Airwolf, thank you very much indeed for the gifted sub. Cheers, man. DCS Duck says the Greeks trained in gymnasium. The word coming from the Greek gymnos, meaning naked. Don't try this in your local gym, though. Jesus. I recently learned that the Irish invented the modern calendar. 'Twas an Irish woman, it seems. Annie O'Domini. Annie O'Domini. I think we're okay for altitude here at the moment. Speed is still looking good. But yeah, look at lads, it's fascinating. Be it the Greeks or the Romans. And to me, that's what makes the Romans that little bit more interesting, because they adopted everything from the Greeks. Pretty much. They adopted so much. They were like, yeah, that seems like a great idea. Let's do the same. You know? The movie The Immortals in 2011 was impressive in showing ancient Greek god actions, especially Zeus. Did you see the Su-35 near miss with the US fighter? I didn't. When did that happen, Epic Fool? Right, so we're relatively close. We're probably, what? 30-ish miles? Yeah, we're 30 miles out from our first stop of the night. And we're just monitoring our aircraft systems here. As I said, this thing is very much alive. How's our engine behaving? 100%. No worry when it comes to... well, we're too low for oxygen, but we have it if we need it. I've no worry here. We're 24 degrees now in the cabin, so we'd look to the bleed air system and close the vents. It's a constant battle trying to keep the environmental settings right. Adopted, yeah. Stole. History lesson, or sorry, Big Sierra says history lesson flights always top tier, Murph. Listening from work, wish I could fly along. Thanks very much, Big Sierra. It's the whole thing fascinates me, and like I learn, like I'm not a history teacher. I've no certs or any of that jazz when it comes to this, so I'm just fascinated by it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I hope you guys are finding it interesting. Like, it's gas, right? In school, at least, like, Jesus, they didn't teach me this stuff. Did everyone notice the ancient Greek wind turbines? Yes, we did. So, like, here's the thing, right? Of the wonders that have been recreated by Jeppesen, it's purely the POIs, and it's to give us an idea, a sense. Don't forget, there's no, you know, categorical evidence to say this is exactly how they looked. There's differences, right? I mean, you know, friggin' Levy, Pliny, all these guys had different ideas of... Who's the other fella? You know, it had X amount of columns. Okay, right, what colour were they? right? No one actually knows, unless it was like photographs. We're kind of stuck. We're basing it on what was seen on the day. And what was seen on the day, well, when was that? You know? But yeah, it's fascinating stuff. 1st century AD, for the first time in known history, a wind-driven wheel is used to power a machine. A Greek engineer, Heron of Alexandria, created the wind wheel. Epic, is that factual now, or, you know, are you just saying, yeah, Murph, go on, give it a blast? Jesus, look at that tornado right beside us. That's safe. Look at the cut of that. Man, I haven't flown the Tonka in so long. Isn't the scenery stunning here? Greek island hopping and all that, like, it's what a great way to explore in the sim. Stunning, lads, absolutely stunning. Right, runway is actually dead ahead. We can start descending now, and well, we're going to go for a runway of 18 right. 18 right. So let's plan our arrival. So resync our heading, and we're going to keep it on 270 for the moment. Altitude is going to come down substantially, so we're going to bring it down to about 2500, and we're going to arm that, and we're going to start dropping here at a rate of about 500 feet per minute. We're still a ways out, and some of the areas that we're overflying, that's Patras up here now, coming up on our right hand side. Patras or Patras, that's that city there, look, all in there. And isn't it only gorgeous looking? Jesus, look at that. Look at the mountains over the bay, look. Stunning. 18 right, none of us are. Who? Stroker? What? You do read everything though. Oh, balls. I do. Jesus, I've just been epic fooled. That's a new one. Ooh! Now, the red and black aircraft is there again. Which one? The red and black aircraft is there again. This one is the PC-21 by Iris Simulations. And Iris need to update the Divil. I like Iris, but come on, man. Fix the thing in multiplayer so it's not displaying the remove before flight stuff. I mean, that would just be grand if you can do that, you know. Corn Wolf is here, good to see you. Mr. Q says, I love the tornado, it's brutal. Great machine, great machine. He's nearing stall speed. The tornado is. We're about to hit never exceed speed. So we're going to start bringing some power back. Torque, I reckon about 15. Hold it. That should give us significant decel. There she starts dropping now. And as I say, airport is ahead of us. We'll be turning right shortly, and then we'll circle in or swing in to the left hand side, right? YouTube that I just had ChatGPT generate me an image of Zeus. It looks cool. It looks cool. Like to see what in the game looks like. Yeah. And again, lads, to be fair, right? Magazine, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Jebison created all these things in a very short period of time, and it's based on the information that he has. But I think you're going to like it. I do think you're going to like it. Two Dogs is here. Good to see you, man. Happy Monday. You're very welcome in. Coffee time, says Iron Knob. Telling you, it is time for a zesty beverage. Zesty beverage on a Monday night. There's Toto in the Mitsubishi MU2, look. That's an airplane I don't fly an awful lot. I need to start flying that more. Right, altitude now 5,000. We're going to bring our torque right back. Call it 1,000. And hold. Increase the rate of descent. Call it 1,000. Landing lights, pop them on. And we're going to... Where's the runway in relation to that mountain? It's before it. Okay. We're going to turn right to a heading of 30 degrees. Or 300 degrees. And we'll engage heading mode on our autopilot. Right turn coming in. We're looking good. We're looking good. Man, the Caravan. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice? Jesus, all the planes we have with us, lads. This is fantastic. And again, it's the Greek countryside. And like, for all of the series that we're doing, and I've tried to pick aircraft that we can take most advantage of the scenery for as well. right? Including a chopper. We're going to be flying the CH-47 for one of these. And we're zigzagging all over the shop, right? But still, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just interesting, you know. Ancient world wonders, where we have the world wonders of today, which we travelled to last year, and then the natural world wonders. It's fascinating. Is there any other world wonders that, you know, we can have a look at? There's Belbro and Afuga, look. So we're saying 2,000. We're just on 3.5 at the moment. 1,000 feet to go. There's a runway. That's what we're headed for. Ah, Gibbo! Interesting. Is it though? Gibbo, I promise I won't talk any more about history now that you're here. Let's talk about the match last night. Wait, was there even... There was football on last night, wasn't there? Is there CL415 and Twin Otter flights involving water landings? They are and they aren't. The idea being is I went with the amphibian Twin Otter rather than the full float plane. Meaning that we can land on boat, water and runways if needs be, right? Yeah, Gibbo, the last hour and 46 minutes, I mean, Jesus, unbelievable. It could never be repeated again. Oh, brilliant. Right, so we're going to be touching down in here. Now, to get ourselves ready for a landing, our speed is still a little bit on the Jesus side, so more power back. Keep an eye on the torque. We're going to increase our RPM. Make sure she doesn't peak. ITT is looking good. Everything here is looking good. Our controls are all set. And that speed is going to start bringing us into the white arc. Once we get into the white arc, we can deploy some flaps. 2,500 feet is going to hold us. We can probably come off the autopilot now, but let's just see. Okay, we're within range of our flaps. First notch of flaps coming in. Autopilot, disengage. Nose is going to try and rise up, that's okay. A little bit more speed coming down. Going to turn on some Tobii. Reset your views there, Murph. There we go. Out the left window, keep an eye on the runway. Start bringing that power back. We're almost at idle. That's going to help us increase our rate of descent. First notch of flaps are set. 1,000 feet warning. That gives us nearly 2,000 feet. Yeah, coming up on 2,000 feet. Murph, the Angkor Wat located in Cambodia, it's being considered as the 8th wonder of the world. Jesus. Jefferson, good to see you. Did I miss anything yet? Not just yet. We haven't reached there. This is our first stop of the night. Lads, can we get the Jefferson emotes in the chat for the man, myth and legend himself who made all of this possible? Takes ancient to know ancient. Jesus. Okay, watch your speed. Lights are on. Flaps are set to 1. We'll give him 20 degrees coming in. Second notch of flaps. Nose coming up. Drag is now hitting us full style. And we'll start lining up for the runway. Alright, we're looking good. Rate of descent. A little bit heavy at 1,000. Power's good, pressure's good, temp's good, lights are on, gear is fixed, don't need to worry about the landing gear. And let's ramble in for our first stop of the night. We burnt about 20 gallons of fuel, I think, was it? Wasn't an awful lot. So keep an eye on your power settings here. Turning while descending for final and decelling. Or decel. Yeah. You gotta watch it. It gets nuts, right? Alright, line up at the centre line. Jesus, that's a tricky runway. Is there 2 runways? There is. What I write is what I want. It looks as if it's a taxiway like. Speed 90 knots. We overshot a little bit. Let it gradually come back in. Rate of descent is nice and easy. $230 feet over the ground. And start bleeding off a little bit of speed. Easy does it. Torque setting is good. If that goes wrong, we'll just add in a bit of power, start bringing up the flaps. Aim for the centre line. Our touchdown zone is just beyond the numbers. Bringing out a tiny bit of power.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Jesus. Power to idle. Watch the flare. And gently bring us down. Easy. 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 Touchdown. Looking good. Into beta. Flaps in. Out of beta. And we'll do an exit up here on the right hand side. Muse, the timing of that was absolutely shocking. Jesus. Right. We're back on the ground, 18 degrees. Let's see how quick that wants to rise. Current temperature outside, 24 degrees. We'll do a left turn here. Good God, man. There's airplanes all over the shop. CST Gaming, Murph. Hope you're having a good stream. Quick question. What's the best way to get in touch with you directly? CST Gaming, I'm after going onto another active runway. It was a rookie mistake. I got blinded by the lights. You can drop me a DM on our Discord. Or, Discord is probably the handiest way. Gibbo Ireland says, so thinking about Zeus, my only contribution to this is, who is stronger, Zeus or Superman? Jesus, Gibbo, quick, get across the runway. No one's going to notice you, Murph. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Yeah, CST Gaming. Discord if you can. That's the quickest way. Or failing that, info@twotonemurphy.com. We're following the alpha tester. Jesus. Right, let's go this way. Oh, yes. Kicking up some dust. All right. You reckon Superman? As long as he didn't say Batman. I'm Batman. I managed to do a landing too. I was literally behind you the whole way in. Jesus. CST. Oh, Roger, Roger. Where are we going? Oh, we're going down this way, look. Right, aeroplane. How are we cutting? Look at the temperature. We're already up in 20 degrees, look. Jesus. Now, I'm not going to need all the runway here. Famous last words, but we're not going to need all the runway. So we're just going to taxi forward. So, lads, we're going to use this time now. Double check your fuel. All right. Make sure your aircraft is happy as Larry. Zeus versus Superman. That could be a nice movie. I think you're onto something there. Okay, right turn. One notch of flaps. Get ourselves onto the centre line. Hello. Don't mind Murphy, he just taxied out onto the active. Now, so we're going to be taking off. And I think a right-hand pattern here, lads. Over the sea and then back in around again. We are not far from our destination. It's just 32 nautical miles from here down to... Murph, I'm flying in your very own Irish Air Corps livery. In what, Dougal? Hang on a second there now, Jemima. In what, Dougal? In the Caravan? Bloody hell. Right, flaps, set. Wait, can I just press a button here and resync that? I can! Brilliant. Alright, heading mode engaged. Altitude for this one. Let's call it 3.5. And let's see what happens, right? The 206. Bloody hell. I think, well, the Air Corps one is a fictional one, but I'll give it, yeah. What you need to do, Dougal, do us a favour. Wombat does the same. Drop me a DM before we go live and say, Murph, make sure you have this turned on, will you? Yeah. Yeah, right. Gibbo, you missed Murph's own admission. He's got a big blower in his drawer. I do. Well, no, it's a. Listen, you can't have a serious conversation with you folks. You always take things out of context. I have a machine in me drawer that blows. Right, are we ready, friends? First notch of flaps engaged. Heading mode synced. We're once again walking, talking, and squawking. Volume for the aircraft sounds. Let's go flying. Take off power set. Airspeed alive. It's beside me wood polish. It actually is. Oh wait, it's under me wood polish. 80 knots. Oopsie daisy. Positive rate of climb. And indicated. $250 feet, flaps in. What do you mean the polisher? You guys. Right, bit of trim there, Murph. Easy now. She ain't moving quick enough. Easy. All right, autopilot. Heading mode. Three and a half thousand feet. And give us 700 feet per minute. All right. Now she's doing a thing. Right, we want to overfly the coast. So, friends, we get to do it again. Are you ready now? We get to do it again. So, if you're flying on the Xbox, what do we do here? If we're on the Xbox, press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. And if you're wondering who would win between Zeus and Superman, well, friends, you press number 3. Yeah, baby. Look at all the planes we have tonight. the state of that. Right? Brilliant. Right, friends. Now, how are we getting on? We're kind of going okay. Nav mode, please. Put us on the GPS and let us continue on to where it is we're trying to fly to. So we're on the way now, friends, to the place of the thing with the yoke. With the yoke, right? Frankenstein, good to see you, man. How many GoPros would you like to mount? Yes. 39 on the PC, 3 on console. I don't even know how to get the landing rate on Flow Pro. The bear, just type in landing rate. It should pop up. Zeus would win. He knows about kryptonite. Blast him and his ways. What was the planet? What was the name of the planet? Oh wait, it was Krypton. Never mind. Don't answer that question. It was stupid. Anyway, right lads, about 30 miles? Less? 20 miles? 26 miles. Alright. We're looking good. Now, after takeoff, torque is looking good. RPM, dial it back a little bit, Murph. Dial it back. It's good. Bring up our torque. That's looking tasty. Running lights. Be gone. And our T's and P's are doing what they need to do. 16 degrees inside the cabin. Should be okay. Lots of turbulence here. Can you imagine the crack we're going to have in Flight Sim 24 with friggin' wake turbulence? That's all you're going to hear out of me. We'll be getting shook. Look at that, lads. I'm loving the different aircraft you've brought along. That's not a 339, that's the 346, is it? Yes. Looking good, Joe. Starbug is in the Harrier, Corsair is in the PC-21. We've got a couple of 208s around us. We've got a Baron, we've got a Duke. A couple of 346s. Wombat's in an Eagle, looking good, Wombat. What else do we have? The Roars. We have an Embraer with us, look. Who's Blamo? Valbro way up on top in a Fuga, 4,500 feet. Sci 120 took a TBM. Nice. You got the power. Definitely got the power. There's Dougal back there. In an air... Well, the green still came through, so that's something, Dougal. Do you know? Every Greek believes in Superman, but not every Greek believes in Zeus. TJ Turner. You'll cheat, Murph, and turn it off. Not at all. We couldn't be... Jesus. We couldn't be doing things like that. Now, friends, we are approaching the place with the thing, right? So, the Seven Wonders, some of the monuments of the ancient world, so impress visitors from afar and wide of their beauty, the artistic and architectural ambition, and also the sheer scale that their reputation grew as a must-see. 7 such monuments became the original bucket list when ancient writers such as Herodotus, Callimachus, and Philo of Byzantium completed short lists of the most wonderful sights of the ancient world. The great statue of Zeus made it onto the established list of the 7 world wonders from the 2nd century BC. But it was by then already widely known, imitated in sculpture and represented in vase paintings, carved gemstones, even on coinage from the 4th century BC. Notably, on the reverse side of the silver, Jesus, here's a word, tetradrachms of Alexander the Great, and the coins of Elis. Roman Emperor Hadrian was still using the same image of his coins in the 2nd century BC or AD, and besides the surviving representations, there are marble copies of the children of Niobe from the throne of the statue. Now wait and you hear about this mad Egypt. The Roman Emperor Theodosius, who ruled Rome from 379 to 395 AD, who, favouring Christianity, decreed that all cult practices, including that of the Olympic Games, be stopped. The final Olympics was held in 393 after a run of 293 games, which ran for over 1,000 years. After that time, the site and temple fell into disrepair until it was desecrated. In 426, following a decree against pagan temples by Theodosius, and then completely destroyed by earthquakes in 522 and 551, the ruins were eventually covered in silt brought in by the river Alpheus, and it slowly changed its course over time. The statue would not suffer the same fate as the temple though, as two were destined to be separated and never reunited. The statue was renovated several times, cracks in the ivory were repaired, and even perhaps supporting columns added under the throne. Roman Emperor Caligula had audaciously tried to remove the statue and have it brought to Rome. But according to the Roman writer Suetonius, the project was abandoned after the giant Zeus mysteriously emitted a roar of laughter and the scaffolding of the workers collapsed. So Caligula, the mad devil, turned around and said, bring me all the ancient statues of the world. He wanted to bring them back to Rome and take their heads off and put his head on it. Right? But he didn't end up terribly long, El Caligula, with his cross-eye. They got rid of him, right? But it was said when they tried to move it, Zeus himself gave a clap of thunder, laughed, and, the scaffolding fell down. Think Gandalf on the bridge. You shall not... Right, something like that. But anyway. The next indignity was having its gold parts spirited away by the Roman Emperor Constantine. Finally, the statue of Zeus was removed to Constantinople in 395, then the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, where it and the temple or palace it stood on were destroyed during an earthquake or tsunami in the 5th century, more likely in the 6th century. An alternative theory, as recorded in the works of historians Zonaras and Cadron, is that the statue was destroyed by a fire in 475. Whatever the exact cause of the final loss, the surviving descriptions by ancient writers and the tantalizing images in other ancient artworks and on coins are all that survive of one of the wonders of the ancient world, the only one that was ever genuinely revered. The Olympic Games, of course, began over 2,700 years ago in Olympia in the southwest of Greece, and every 4 years about 50,000 people came from all over the Greek world to watch and take part. It's said that the stadium that we're going to overfly, it was able to seat, I think, 45,000 people. Right? The ancient games are also a religious festival held in honor of Zeus and, as I said, in the nip. There were no gold, silver and bronze medals. Winners were given a wreath of leaves and a hero's welcome back home. Athletes competed for glory of their city, and winners were seen as being touched by the gods. Recent archaeology at the Museum of Olympia continues to be a major site for excavations. In recent years, ongoing research has focused on uncovering more details about the sanctuary's layout and the religious practices, as well as digital reconstruction of the statue itself. The sanctuary remains a vital state for understanding the intersection of sports, religion and politics of the ancient Greek world. And as I said, they found... So there was a church, a Byzantine church built on the site, right? And it was only when they excavated the ruins of that, they realised, Jesus, here's Phidias's workshop. Workshop, right? The Christians are a great bunch of lads, right? Eamon just bought the DA42. It's really good. Really, really good. So what we're going to do here, lads, because we're very, very, very quickly approaching it, we're going to hand fly this. And I'm thinking we might be able to land on the original. We'll pay our respects. We can land on the original Olympic track, because it kind of looks like a runway from the air. So power coming out, prop going full. We're now going to descend in towards this, and we're going to do a bit of a walk around to see what it's all about. PC pilots, if you have the scenery, prepare to be, well, just blown away by the work of Jeppesen. Blown away. He's amazing. I don't know how he does it. So we're descending here now, power to idle, keep the nose down, and we're going to fly over the temple itself and then see if we can land on where the original Olympics were held, in the big stadium, which it's no longer a stadium. But you should be able to see, like, it'll look kind of like a runway. That's where we're heading for, right? So as we're descending, we do have stall capability, STOL, with this aircraft. So I can see the temple coming up here on the left-hand side. So what we're going to do, start adding in some flaps. We're a little bit fast right now, but hopefully we can slow her down. James Anderson, good to see it. Exclamation point wheel, James. It's the Rambog wheel and it works with Flow Pro. It's absolutely amazing. The ancient area of Olympia. Isn't this absolutely savage, lads? Do you see the temple? Can you see it from here? Amazing. Right, give us flaps. And let's see what we can do to see if we can find something that kind of half resembles a runway. It's right by that tower there. Sweet lamb Jesus. Don't hit the friggin' Wonder Murph. Don't. Oh, there's a big tree in the way. Bloody hell. We need to fit in between the tree and the tower. Easy now. Easy. Easy. Mind the tree. Mind the other thing. And touch down. Gently. Don't end up in a mess on the road. Up, jump. Don't tip it over. Don't tip it over. Power. Speed and power. Why have you no power? Don't tell me I broke the engine. Why is that gone down? Get up, you devil. Right. Shh. 10 out of 10 for drifting. Yeah, baby. Now we're just going to turn around here. You're not supposed to land at Ancient Wonders, but sure, listen, we got permission. We rang ahead, lads. We rang ahead. Everything's fine. Right, parking brake on. Sit tight. And let us go exploring, right? Now, we have a whole load of planes flying around. This wouldn't be a normal TTM stream unless we have someone acting the... Right? But let's see what we can do here now, friends. Are we ready?
Can I get a refund?
Can we just say, like, would you look at the stage? What do you mean it looks like Paddy? Like, Paddy from Emmerdale. Isn't this something, right? Like, we've never seen anything like this in Flight Sim. At all. Ever. So it is a first, right? So what Jeppesen did, just because, well, to give us a sight from the air, he didn't include the full roof. But for good reason, because we can actually kind of overfly it and have a gawk. I mean, the idea behind this wouldn't be, yeah, let's land on the actual part that they had the Olympics. Do you know what I mean? So the idea was, well, you can overfly it and you can look in at what the statue was all about. Now, there are different kind of makes of it. There's different looks of it. But again, it's based on kind of conflicting archaeological evidence of what the statue looked like. And it was built on a wooden frame, and they used bits of gold and marble and ivory and all this sort of jazz. but it is done very, very well. In terms of scale and all that jazz, it's incredible, lads, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Like, the detail here is ridiculous. And even you go exploring around the area. He didn't just do a scenery. He's done tons of stuff. We have old temples. I'll show you the boats now in a second as well. He's just added in a load of stuff. Isn't it class? Where would you get it, lads? It's a great way to go exploring. Not only, you know, what's in the vicinity, but what a great snapshot to see what the place would have been like. What it would have been like, right? So we'll meander around here. So this is all Olympia. This is where the games were held, and you had all these different statues. You also had, I think it was called an alta or an altilia. It was like a wall that separated the Olympic Games from kind of, you know, the mass public. Do you know? But like, this is just like, lads, this is a flight simulator. I mean, can we just, you know, let's think on that for a second. This is a flight sim. And Jeppesen is able to create all of this for us. It's quite remarkable. It's quite remarkable. Do you know? Jesus, she'd be no good at carrying the jugs of water, that one. But isn't it quite mad what he's managed to be able to do? And like, look at the detailing on, like, look at the detailing on the assets. Like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so the statue itself, yeah, there would have been gold in it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't worry too much about that. This is purely about giving you an idea of what it could look like in this area. And like, even where he has its placement and the buildings all around, Jesus, there's a mess, a whole load of airplanes. This area here, of course, this was the stadium, right? And you had a number of different buildings all in this area. And what was interesting about some of the Greek designs, they try to use scenery to kind of complement their buildings. So when you look at like the mountains here, see the way things kind of fit in. See the two mountains here, right? And then you have the buildings kind of beneath them. And outside of the Acropolis of that, this is kind of how they put their main buildings together. They didn't want them, you know, sticking up out of the other thing. The Sober should be employing Jeppesen to do POIs. I agree. The half-naked woman has no arms, says Scorpio. Indeed. Check this out. Like, isn't this absolutely incredible? Look at the detail. Isn't that something else? There goes a caravan into the ground. Isn't it mad looking? Look at the detail he's put into this. One of 7 world wonders. Ancient world wonders. It's very, very beautiful. It's stunning. And like, in terms of like a digital recreation to allow us to kind of, you know what I mean? Get up close to it. Move around the place. This just can't be done. You go to the real world site now, yeah, there's a lot of columns lying on the ground and stuff. But like what we have here with the detailing, and like, there's a well. You know, when you look at the columns of what that building was, the workshop of Phidias was just over here on the right. So I think just here you had the ruins of the Byzantine church. And then you had Phidias' workshop. It's about 10 meters away from the building. Isn't it gorgeous? How does she eat her breakfast, I wonder? Isn't it class? Like, how different is this in a flight sim? Do you know what I mean? And the detailing he's put in, it's friggin' ridiculous, like. Do you know? Look. It's unbelievable. So as I said, this is where the kind of like a hippodrome, but that was the main stadium. And the seats were made of clay, hence we don't have any of them left today. In saying that though, there was some stone seats, roughly here, and they would have been for like dignitaries, judges, you know, all that sort of jazz. And then you had a very interesting passage leading into the stadium, and it was I see, can I dig up a picture? Very similar to what you'd see in kind of modern stadiums. Another way the players kind of walk through like an arch. And the Greeks weren't big on arches. I mean, that wasn't perfected until the Romans came along. But they had like a walkway coming from these sacred grounds in towards the stadium was. Like Jepson even put in trees and plants and stuff. See the trees? That's the stuff you're going to get in 2024. Native. I see no hippos in the hippodrome. But I think he's done a great job here. I really, really do. Like, look at the detail he has in the chair as well, like. Do you know what I mean? It's very well done. It's very well done. It's just something cool. And it was said, of course, you know, when the devil was able to stand up, you know, or if he could stand up, he would have crashed through the roof. So you would have had like a wooden roof design, and then outside the front here there was like a small pool, and that's where they light the flame, of course, for the Olympics. And then there was another pool just in front of them, and it was filled with olive oil. And how they saw the reflections then, you know, of Jesus right in the middle of it. Unbelievable stuff. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, great work here by Jepson lads. It's incredible. Like, if we were to look at it now, right? Hello, Internet. Bring us over this one there now. And let's look at Olympia model. Careful now, Murphy. Yeah, that'll do. Doodly-doo-doo. So, let's have a look at it here, right? Buttons, you can do it. So there's all various models based on what they think everything would have looked like. And they had this Altea. Think of like an altar. It was like it was a wall, yeah? And all the various different buildings. So, for example, see these buildings up here, up the top right? Well, they were known as treasuries. We know the name today. But these are usually sponsored or ran by other countries, and they left valuables in there. So you had treasuries in here, various temples. You had more than one god. I mean, Zeus was the dude, right? But they had other temples to other gods here as well. You had all various, you know, training centers, government buildings. They were all located here as well. And then over this side here, leading out towards where the games actually were. Let's have a look. Sure, we'll find another picture. Ancient Olympia. You kind of get the idea. And also the scale, right? The scale of this thing would have been friggin' huge. Where is it now? Yeah, that's not a bad one. Now, I know we're staying in here because it says Alamy own it, but sure, listen, don't mind them, right? Go back there, Murph. Go back there. Go back there. Got it? Yeah, open in a new tab. So see this sort of crack here, lads, right? So here we have the Temple of Zeus. And remember I was telling you, you kind of had like this tunnel leading out. And the stadium could hold 45,000 people. And there was only one little area that was stone, right? And then you had various racetracks and hippodromes and all this. But that was the tunnel. So the idea being is, if you were in where the temples are, well, you wouldn't see the stadium. It was all blocked off. They had these beautiful pillared buildings, different, Jesus, they had different temples, different buildings, and you were right by the river as well. Isn't it quite fascinating? Like, to think the age of this, and, you know, if we were to look at what it looks like today, right? Let's have a look. To show you what it looks like today, Olympia. Olympia. I'll probably find the Olympia in Dublin. Olympia in Greece. Olympia, Greece. Okay. Oh, Jesus, don't move it all across. Right. So this is what we're looking at here, right? So you can see here where the Temple of Zeus once was, and that's all that's left there, right? We can jump in and have a look. I mean, that's what we're left with in today's world, right? It was a Zuzi. This is kind of the layout of what we have to this day. And there's still quite a number of columns left standing, which it's considering, right? Some kind of ideas of, look, this is how we think it was built. See the front of it? See this kind of design here? You guys have seen this before. The marble statues survive today. They're in the museum, right? But you've seen those on the front of buildings before, I'm sure. It was a very Greek thing. This is over by the workshop of Phidias. And here you can see where the stadium is. That's the stoned seating area I was telling you about earlier on. And there's the line. And it's where people are. These were clay seats. And it might look terribly shallow now. But this would have been a huge stadium. Massive. Very, very steep. But of course, you know, it's gone quite low now. And we can see some of the Greek writing on the columns of what they were. Different sayings, different religious things. It's just fascinating. There's the original part of the Atia wall, or Altia. I think it's Altia, right? Like different depictions of how the statue would have looked. You know, it's just fascinating what's there to think about. And then of course this sort of jazz. I mean that's all housed in the museum there now. And they found an awful lot of this. They actually dug up an awful lot of this stuff. Which is amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. Let me see. Who's that? Mitchell Otdall, thank you very much indeed for the bits. Cheers, man. What else do we have here? Like, you see it, look, these temples. And like, this is the sort of stuff that Jeppesen rebuilt for us. You can see the layout of that temple there. Well, that's what Jeppesen was aiming at when he did this one, look. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's what he's trying to rebuild for us, to give us an idea of how this stuff would have looked. Yeah, like the man's an absolute legend. You get the idea, yeah? Isn't it fascinating? Absolutely fascinating. It's a place I'd love to visit in the real world, just to, you know what I mean? Because like, as much as a fan I am of the Roman stuff, the Romans were heavily inspired by all of this. Heavily inspired. I don't know what your old Greek writing is like, but you can have a go at that. The Temple of Zeus. Even the Greek helmets, were they mad looking? They were mad devils. Hoplites and all this. So a modern take, if you like, a 3D scan or a 3D generated gadget of what they think it would have looked like. Look at the beautiful colours. The gold, the bronze, like, it must have been just otherworldly. This is the art I'm telling you about. This leads from where the temples are down to where the stadium used to be. And what makes this very interesting, as I said, the Greeks, when it came to arches, they didn't do a lot of archwork because it was the Romans that perfected arches. So to see this is actually quite unusual. Now, was this a Roman addition afterwards? You just don't know. In and around this time, 400-500 BC, well, Rome was there. It was still quite young. They were still operating it as a kingdom. It would have been the kingdom of Rome. The Republic wasn't there just yet. So who knows? There could have been Roman influence. You wouldn't know. That's out the road a bit. That's not where we're looking at. Again, other ideas of Zeus. Now, that's not really correct because, well, they reckon he was 40 feet high. Maybe they're not far off it. But you get the idea. Could you imagine your fella wearing those sort of helmets and showing up for a battle in Crocs? Right? The Greeks loved Crocs. I knew loads of Greeks who loved wearing Crocs. But, like, it's fascinating, lads. It really, really is. I mean, look at that. Like, Jesus. Earthquakes, fires, you name it. All had, like, look at the detail here, look. And thanks to Jeppesen, we can experience what it may have looked like. Isn't it just mad? He's done incredible work here. He really, really has. And of course of the temple itself and the buildings, columns, like just incredible stuff. And he did it all for free. This is friggin' freeware, lads. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what absolutely makes the thing incredible. This is all freeware thanks to Jeppesen. It's just incredible stuff, isn't it? Armor protected Crocs with camo. Yep. So there we have it. The Statue of Zeus, the first of 7 ancient world wonders we're going to be exploring over the next 7 weeks. And what a great taster into the series. This is the sort of stuff you can come to expect with Jeppesen scenery. Isn't it absolutely incredible? Top drawer stuff, like. As Murph stalks a man in his robes. Colonel Fork, it's good to see you. Why is Murphy looking at your man's robe? What? But yeah, like, it's insane detail. Beautiful. Awesome work by Jeppesen. And even including the things like the boats and the little harbour. Isn't it mad? Right, friends. The Statue of Zeus complete. Let us head now to our final stop of the night. We have a bit of a trek to do. Let's check in here on Navigraph. So we're at our POI located right here at ancient Olympia, and we're going to be heading down on a course roughly 136 for 105 nautical miles down to Kythira. And we're going to do a full stop landing at the airport at Kythira. So that is the mission. That is what we're about to do. So it's time to get ourselves moving. So off the brakes, ramble forward, and we're going to take off facing east. If anyone would like to grab this scenery, it's available on PC. It's 100% free. Ramble over to the 2 Ton Murphy website or just put in !scenery into the chat. It gives you a direct link and that's where you can grab the scenery for free. And if you feel compelled, well, get in touch with Jeppesen, buy the man a cup of coffee or a tasty beverage because he's just done amazing, amazing work. Right. Short takeoff and landing, Cessna. We're going to use the original Olympic Stadium. We're going to need some flaps for this. Now, there's a good chance we're not going to get airborne in 800 feet, because that's the size of this track. But let's see what happens. So, we're walking, we're talking, we're squawking, power coming in, hold the brakes. Increase maximum power. Off the brakes. We're rolling. What's going to happen now, lads? I couldn't tell you. Speed alive. There's 40. There's 60. Gear up the hill. Oopsie daisy. Man, you gotta love the Caravan. Look at the performance of this thing. It's a mad lad. Cyrus T, good to see him, a dude. Flaps in. Alright, easy now, Jemima. We'll circle around. What a beautiful part of the world Olympia is, isn't it? I mean, look at this area. Stunning. Vineyards all over the shop. Gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous, isn't it? Alright. We're heading for those mountainous regions. Autopilot. Autopilot on. Nav mode engaged. Altitude has been set. And we're going to climb at 1,000 feet per minute. Hang on now. Call it 3,500. And climb at 700 feet a minute. That'll do. Brunk nose, welcome in. Climbing nicely, flaps are already in. We'll probably need more than 3.5. There's a big massive mountain on the way, but sure, listen, let's see what happens, lads. Let's see what happens. So yeah, the whole series, that's another thing that makes us terribly exciting. When we're finished this series, we finish on the Monday before release week of Flight Sim 2024. Ooh. Like, mad, right? Mad, lads. Cannot wait, so I can't. So our climbing's looking good. Nav is looking good. I gotta say, the Grand Caravan... Oh, Jesus, watch your torque. The Grand Caravan, absolutely incredible. I nearly absolutely shagged the engine. I over-torqued it. Good man, Murphy. You had one job. One job. Bloody hell. It's grand. No one saw it. It's totally fine. Oh, look at this. Oh, yes. 3.5. You wish. Let's call it 5.5 for the minute.
Can I get a refund?
There's no refunds, lads. Altitude alert. No. Give me 5.5. Yes. Arm it. Alt and up it. There you go. 700 feet per minute. Let's keep going. You did what to the engine? Nothing. It's fine. It's totally fine. Look at that. And the scenery here, man, Greece, it just doesn't ever disappoint. It's absolutely incredible scenery here. Right. We need to do a thing. So friends, we're all here tonight. I need to find out where it is we are all hailing from. Your location. Your place of viewing. Where are you currently at the moment? Right? So when the music starts, you need to start putting it into the chat, and I disappear in my face because I get terribly red when I try to read it out. Are you ready? You join the Fireflies tonight. Episode 1 of our new 7-part series of the Ancient World Wonders. I don't regret this at all. Nothing that changes the amount of places I have to read out, right? We're located in RD, me kitchen making tea, Southampton, Cumbria, Montcalm, Sunderland, London, Missouri, Liverpool, Dublin, Florida, Larne, Belgium, Los Angeles, Gothenburg in Sweden, San Jose, Gwynedd in Wales, Calgary, Canada, London, Cornwall, the Netherlands, Hilton Head. Don't hit the mountains, Murph. Are we all right? We're all right. Colorado Springs, Lacey, Washington, Vancouver, Norway, France near Marseille, Manchester, Frankfurt, Germany, Ontario, New Jersey, Eindhoven, Stuttgart near Germany. Well, Stuttgart's in Germany. North Devon. There's buttons. More Netherlands. Physically, I'm at work. Geographically, in New Zealand. Good man, the Limbics. Denmark. Derventio. Belfast, Nottingham, Yorkshire, Scotland, Geneva, Selbridge, Bridge of Weir, Baston, Antrim, it's Moncton. Oh yeah, Amsterdam, New Jersey, we'll call it Montague. It's grand. The International Space Station with the San Fran Bay in California. Cornwall again. Other places I can't pronounce. And Tipperary in Ireland. Western New York. Guildfield in Germany. Wicklow, Syria, welcome in. Gosford, Australia. Man alive, it is an international audience. From literally all over the world. Bathurst, New Brunswick, Canada. Vienna, baby. The slick one is in Hungary, where people are hungry. Right? Fantastic. Great turnout there this evening. Right. How are we getting on? We still need to climb. Who put these mountains in the way? Mad, right? Lads, that's amazing. Lunar Escape, good to see you. You also got a follow in there as well. Hang on a second. Jesus now. Stir Fryer, thank you very much indeed for the follow. Welcome in, man. Lads, isn't it mad? Here we are, in all the different locations we're situated in, exploring ancient wonders that to this day no longer exist. And we're all doing it in Microsoft Flight Sim. Like, how mad, right? How mad is that? Now, airplane, I nearly broke it earlier. Let's not talk about that. We're looking good here.
Yeah, baby.
We're looking good there. And we're doing 150 knots, right? Jesus, there's stuff happening. Let me see. PH Roy, thank you very much indeed for the gifted sub. And then Twitch jumped in with one as well. Roy gave 2 gifted subs. Thank you very, very much. Twitch has just subscribed. Man, Twitch. Jesus. Roy, thank you very much indeed. That's mad, isn't it? Look at the climb out here. Look at the scenery, look. Man alive, that's stunning. The scenery has been absolutely off the chart, hasn't it? Yeah, so we're trying to clear the big massive mountains down the road here, so we'll keep pedaling. I reckon we're going to need I dare say about 10,000 feet for that. What do you reckon, lads? Right, thank you very much, all the support, yeah, and to everyone tonight who has subbed, gifted sub, bits, follows, subscribing on YouTube. Thank you very, very much indeed, lads. Your generosity, it's quite insane. Also, Mrs. TPHI celebrating membership for 4 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. If I missed anyone on YouTube, just shout. But yeah, incredible stuff, lads. Thank you all very, very much indeed. And for all the likes over on YouTube as well. 8,000 reckons Muse. 8,000 it is. Continue to climb. So yeah, all the likes on YouTube. So likes really help the channel with exposure. When YouTube sees likes coming in and comments, it kind of gets into its algorithm. That's how the devil works, right? And well, it starts recommending then things, this to other people, and that tends to bring in, you know, new people. Briggy, good to see you. What does placeholder image mean in the plane's photos? I have broke it. Briggy, so if you're using the air show assistant where they put in mid-air refueling, there's a couple of placeholders put in for aircraft. Scott says Microsoft Flight Sim 90 flying over the world as it looked in 2020. Flight simulators will be like time machines in the future. Yeah, but it's gas, right? We talk about time machines, time travel. I mean, that's what makes this series in particular quite interesting, because we are going back to get a view of what the wonders are all about. And you know, you tie that sort of stuff in with aviation, which we all love. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. De Ruyter, good to see you in Veldhoven, Netherlands. Nice, nice. Yeah, we have a very large international audience, and it's incredible, lads. Thank you, Ecor. It's amazing. It really, really is amazing. Isn't it gas? Like, there's literally people all over the world who share in the same interests. Aviation or history or just community, hanging out. You know what I mean? A safe, nice environment just to kind of forget about the troubles of real life for a few hours, right? That's what it's all. Talk about troubles. You know what I have to do this week? I need to install hardware, and that's going to be troublesome, right? You'll probably hear the foul language coming from Tipperary. You'll hear it all over the world. You'll be like, Jesus, was that Murphy screaming? And I was told, get the anti-static gloves, because knowing my luck, the second I turn everything off and I touch the board, kersplunkage. And I really don't have the confidence to live stream me updating the thing. Like, do you know? Could you imagine? I'd have an absolute meltdown if I got something wrong. You won't be heard 5,000 kilometers away. You underestimate me, Super Ty. I stuck me toe on a DOF reality box. That's before I even came out of the box. And I saw the divine. I roared it. Jesus! But we would enjoy it. Yeah, Lee, that's, yeah. Here's Murphy crying, huddled up in the corner of his room, because he tried to be smart and make something. So here's the thing. Not the back of my head, mind you. Here's the thing. I need to get some sort of space in here. Right? So what I was saying about this was, right? This is me. I'm wearing trousers. That's how friggin' cold it is. So the setup here now, right? what I need to do, I don't have enough space here to fit this chair and what I need to. So I reckon I'm going to lots of space between your ears. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Scott. So what I think I have to do is this desk unit needs to go that way. All the way over to the wall. And then I can get my chair over there, and then if something is going to live in here. Lots of space between his ears. What hardware I'm installing? Well, the hardware is relatively easy. It's a USB expansion slot, which is PCIe, and an NVMe drive. Space. The final frontier. Joey Bolo, good to see you. You knew that was coming? Loads of space between your ears. Brilliant. And there's no comeback at all. Right, 8,000 feet is what we're aiming for. Skyhawk, thank you for subscribing over on YouTube. You're welcome in. Joey, I hope you're well. Get a smaller presenter to make more space. That works. Yeah, that works. Knock down the kitchen wall. Lots of space in there. Jesus. That means you'll be sliding your chair, creating a whole new noise. No, I won't. See, the chair will live over there, look. Right? The chair is still going... So all of this just goes across... Oh, wait, hang on. That's not going to work. That won't work because my telly is mounted on the wall. And if I put the chair... That's not going to work. Balls. How am I going to do this? It's a DOF reality motion platform. That's what I need to install. Oh, bloody hell. It would fit in here, but like, where does this chair go? And I like this chair. Yeah, don't be looking at the mall ahead, will you? Bring the missus in to show you how to do it. Well, yeah. Right, sure. You know. I don't know. Cyrus is getting some glare. Shag off, will you? There's no glare coming... Is there glare coming off the back of me head? No, there's not. You're... Lies! Blatant lies! Bloody hell, Cyrus. Jesus. I'm sure Gibbo will work it out. Gibbo will work it out. Gibbo just come down here and say, move this and put that there. And while you're at it, get me a beer. And some, you know, taco fries. Because they're nice, right? Why do you need a chair if you're going to be sitting in a sim cockpit? No, because I need a chair. I don't want to be in my sim cockpit all the time. Because then I can't turn... Like, that was the whole point of building the studio the way it did. So I can ramble over to this station, right? Without getting too much worried about it. Right. So I can't do the thing. I don't know how this is going to work, lads, to be fair. Like, I can... If I move this across... Well, in saying that, though, do I need... I don't... You see, if I'm making videos or a workstation, this could involve now getting a second friggin' monitor. Because there is space there to get another monitor. So why am I getting a sim cockpit thingy? They sent one out to me. I wasn't going to say no. Murph, do you want one of these? Just show it off a bit. See what you think. Yeah, sure. Balls. Then I realised it's big. Mountain alert. I think we're good. Juan, thank you very much indeed. Welcome in. Gibbo should say, take this rig, move it up the road a bit, and then we'll build it, right? Do you have to send it back? I don't think so. Let the walls and make the whole room a monitor. Paparazzi, that could work. So I could put another screen over there. Where's this button? So there's the telly here. Don't mind these monitors. These monitors are going to go over there, thus leaving ample spacage for a second monitor over there. I could do that, friends. I could absolutely do that. So I'll have one station here, we say, with a motion rig, and then another station over there. It's not as easy. Then I have to like probably get another PC or something. If you have a backyard, get a tent. I don't know. Commander Freezer, good to see you. Why do stars in the night sky disappear or fade out when I move the camera? Is there a way to turn that off? Yes, I'm not quite sure. Lunar, welcome in. Put it in the Skoda. Get a projector. I was thinking of... To get very good projectors, they're ridiculous money. Like, there's sufficient room in the room. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is sufficient room in here. But, like, it just means, like, well, Jesus, we're going to need more altitude than 8,000 feet. Call it 8.5 for gas. And let's see what happens here. I could put another monitor. That would be the least expensive way to do this. I'm thinking, yeah, that would be the least expensive. Because I'm not getting another PC. Muse, you're at 8,000 clearing the mountains? Okay. Peter Curry built his monitor onto your H2. Yeah. Lunar Echoes. I do. I love history. Swivel arm for the monitor. Yeah, so the monitor is actually built onto the wall. So it's actually, you can swivel it, right? But yeah. I don't know. There will be streamage or a video when the thing is being built. Don't worry. Like, you won't be missing out on that. I just need to figure it out. Because, like, there is space over there, right? So behind the table there's actually space. And I'm thinking, what if I got the rig to fit in there? And I use it for, like, VR or, you know, put a camera on me or whatever. And then you're able to see the stuff. You know what I mean? That could work. That could work too. We'll find out. Sounds like you need to tear everything apart and start all over. But that's what I'm trying to avoid. I just don't want that to happen. Because I kind of have things right the way I am. And like even now in the room, right? This week, both PCs are coming out. So I've one here and then I've one, well, behind the camera. That's the other PC. That's the streaming PC. That's Maverick and that's Iceman. I give them names so I know, you know, on my network what I'm talking about. Both PCs have to come out because I'm going to use me super blower attachment 2000. Get rid of all the dust because dust accumulates. And then I'm going to do a bit of cable tidy in behind, right? Because I haven't done an awful lot when it comes to, you know, the rig or the setup. Have I got? I don't know. Have I a gadget here that can show you? Maybe I have. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Where does that go? No, Jesus, no, that's not. I need a wire. I better not do it now. I'll set it up some other night. I'll turn on the other camera and I can kind of give you like a tour of what's going on. You know? Using NVIDIA Studio, don't worry about the background. No, I need a background. I can't do green screen. We've the shelf of many things. We've the things of many things. Jesus, look at the head there. Look, you've all this, the shelf of many things behind me, and like almost everything on these shelves came from the community. These were all like different gifts and stuff. That was, you know what I mean? And like, there's loads of gear there, loads of stuff. Friggin' neon lights. Up on top, you can't see it. It's out of the frame. There's a Concorde. There's loads of stuff. So like that's all part of the. It's all part of the things, you know. How are you going to play Farming Simulator with the great big rig in the way? I wonder, does that rig work with Farm Simulator? It works with Truck Sim and Flight Sim, of course. You'll have to move your guitar out of the room. See, there is a God. What are you saying? There's something wrong with my guitar. Tritz, would you like me to play you some guitar? I've been working on a new song. Yeah, we got a 101st Airborne plate. We also have Rosie the Riveter. I don't use a green screen. AI, the street. Oh yeah, AI. Yeah. No, just me singing. What? Jesus, Eamon. No, I like having a natural screen or a natural background. I've nothing against people who use green screens, don't get me wrong, but for me, I like having a background. It's a creative space. It's kind of weird to explain it, but like before I updated you know, the man cave, before I put, you know, I could make content. I'd come in here and I'd be like, okay, right, I got to do with this or I got to do with that, and it was fine. right? But the way things are now, this to me, and again, like everyone's tastes and flavors are different, but to me, this is a highly positive environment. It's super effective. It's extremely functional, right? And it kind of motivates you to do stuff just the way things are laid out. And that's anything from, you know, hardware, but also all the stuff that comes in from the community. And the amount of stuff there is ridiculous. Models, bits of trucks, bits of planes, actual planes. An unhealthy amount of gin. I'll taste it. Do you know? It just creates this. Yeah, let's do the thing. James, look at the weather we're flying into. So I think Lunar Echoes, I couldn't tell you. I could tell you this though. Where was Moses when the lights were out? Here's a question now, historians. Where was Moses when the lights were out? He was in the dark. He was in the dark. Brilliant. Bad news, you heard it before. But yeah, so I might do a video. I'll have to do a video of the old setup in here. Because it's gas, it's influenced by you guys. And Gibbo. Gibbo's like, no, put that there, put this there. And like, I remember the last time I updated this, the second time I kind of gave in here a bit of a tidy up. You know, I got covers for like my desk to make it look nicer. And I remember Gibbo came down to give us a hand with wiring and whatnot. And he's like, Murph, would you not, put that there, put this here, put that over there. And it's amazing because like the ideas he had, they were functional. And then Mr. Two-Tone came in, she's like, would you not put that there and this here and that there? And then it's like, that makes total sense. And that kind of, right, okay, well sure, I'll build it in such a way that I have. And like Chewie has the same setup on his right side, yeah? He's a desk that runs down his right side. And I don't really utilise this space. I mean, there's a bit going on, but I don't really utilise it. Underneath, I've a bin, I have an aircon unit, I have a fridge. And then I have my PC, I have avionics here that I use with, I have another Stream Deck there in the corner which controls that PC, I have a laptop and another PC that does, that screen, the screen of many things. That's the reason that I said that you need to have her come in and give, No, like Mr. Two-Tone, she'll figure this out in seconds. She was just like, we'll just put that there and this here. You can't beat a woman's touch when it comes to like figuring stuff out. Do you know what I mean? Like I even the aircon is on a big pipe on the friggin' wall. A big extractor fan. Little things. I know Moses had a wig because it said he appeared with Aaron and without Aaron. But you know where everything is, which is good. Yeah. Under the bed looking for a candle. Yeah. We'll wait and see. If you can do it better than the missus, keep it to yourself. Mod, hey, Mod is here. Good to see you. BZ, welcome in. Well, say nothing exactly, right? For the man who has everything, what do you give him? More? Oh, I don't have everything. I've a lot of cool stuff here, but like, everything I have except for this, which is a GNS 530, because I literally don't have any more monitor space. Everything I use, bar that. Everything I use. But like, I want force feedback yokes, I want more panels, right? I want what's the Actros thingy? Or Actos, Sony whatever it's called. Different microphones. And that's the worry when it came to the rig. I was like, crap, I have to move everything. You know what I mean? I have to move everything. BZ, you're very welcome in. Hope all is well. Muse fan, there's one on the way. There's one on the way. In the Second World War, you heard about Vidkun Kiesling sell out Norway to Germany. I couldn't tell you. More buttons? Yeah. Well, you see, I want to do a little bit. Jesus, my cabin is freezing 8 degrees. Turn up the L heat there. There's going to be a bit of VR content coming for flights in 2024. Because there's a Pimax unit on the way. Thank you, Pimax. Lunar Echo's just got a kick by the bot. Don't mind the bot. It's nuts. More buttons, right? Descend, you're over the sea. Yes, we will descend. Thank you, Super Tie. 8.5. Let's go to 3.5. Down arrow. We'll descend at 1,000 feet a minute. Bring the power back. We're not going to need it. Easy does it. I'll do. Right, descending now. Is there a button that helps with Murph paying attention to the sim? I need to get one of those. Just think, Murph, when you give up simming, you'll be able to auction all your gear for at least €20. It's an investment, Scorpio. Yes, yes. Say it's good to see you. An AN12B just flew over Dublin. Jesus, that was loud. When did you order it? Mine took 2 months to arrive, although I believe they've sped up the process. I should have it in time for the new sim. I should. Make sure your rig comes with caster wheels. Helps the moving and dusting. See, that's the thing. I don't know if there's caster wheels in it. If not, I'll get some. I'll have to get some. I'll give you 25. We got 25. Anyone higher than 25? Some man there in the back. 25. Look for 25. Will he go any higher? We're here 26. Someone say 26. The man with the face. 26. Do we have 27? I'm hearing 28. Someone got 29. Could you imagine? 27. No, I'll set up a big kind of I'll do a video to show you where everything is. To keep the squeaks down, you'll have to use castor oil. I think the layout that's here and the equipment I use, like, it's inspired by so many people. A lot of you guys, you know, Gibbo, the Missus, Squirrel. Do you ever see Squirrel setup? Jeff Faviano's. Do you ever see Jeff setup? Right? Do you ever see G-Lock Media? Some incredible setups, beautiful setups. I watch a fair bit of Harris Heller as well, just to make it all work, you know. And like, do you know what? So, okay, some of the stuff you can't escape it. It can be expensive, right? But like, for instance, right, I have I don't know what it is. It's like a 14-inch or a 15-inch touch screen, and you can get them through Amazon. And it was €90, and it can plug in via USB-C, and it's a touch screen, so it's basically a giant tablet, but I use it on my computer. So the likes of Navigraph, ideal. And that's on a screen just here in front of me. If I move my mallet head out of the way, see this big screen in here? Look, that's all touch screen, and that was like $90 on Amazon. Right, and it's a perfectly good screen. Stream Decks, you can pick them up fairly cheap, or you can put them on your phone or a tablet. An old phone, that does a lot of stuff for me. I've the really old kind of Logitech panels that used to be Cytec back in the day. I don't use them an awful lot, but they're there. And when it kind of comes to panels, and this is always a hard decision, really, isn't it? When you're looking at a flight sim setup, and you know, some people go all out, they have the full home cockpit experience, and then others have a whole load of switches and buttons. Well, to me, they're great, but they're not needed if you have a VR setup, because that's your virtual cockpit. You don't need all these panels or buttons. Even with this new kind of, what's this new vision thing they call it? There's a name for it, but like, it allows you to see what's actually there in front of you and blend it into your virtual reality experience. I forget the name they're using it. It's in VR, but doesn't it? Mixed reality. Thanks, Muse. Mixed reality, right? That's kind of interesting because, I mean, you could have your yoke, right, or your throttle and all that jazz sitting exactly where it should be, and then you look around the aircraft, like, that's going to be mad. Yeah, maybe it's AR, yeah, augmented or mixed. Yeah, it's one of those. BZ, yeah, it's something like that. NICEP had an interesting side wind on landing. Ooh, interesting. 1,000 feet to go. We haven't got far left, lads. We're nearly there. Jesus, look at the time. Speed her up more, Philia. Bloody hell. I would prefer mixed reality. Pass-through mixed reality, Peter Curry. That's the one. Pass-through. Okay. That's grand if you have a lot of hardware. I don't need a lot of hardware. A HOTAS is great. That's why I don't use yokes. Because it just means everything I've bound to either the joystick or the throttle. Pretty much everything I need. I rarely need to go to the keyboard. Rarely. The only time I'm at the keyboard is either hitting B or D. And if I'm messing around with some camera views. You know what I mean? That's all. So, plus if you use something like a HOTAS, you know, helicopter flying, fighter jets, airliners, and GA, well, it kind of ticks all the boxes. It's a lot harder with choppers if you're using something like a yoke. And even some of the fighters with aerobatics, very difficult to use a yoke. Depends on the yoke. It depends on the yoke. Like, my plan is, with the platform, and we say VR and other stuff coming down the line, I want to make that kind of super realistic stuff. As in, you know, getting the most out of your sim for either real world training, right? Or how to mimic a real world flying experience the best you possibly can. And start to finish, you know, pricing. Nothing is cheap anymore. Nothing is cheap. But I remember years ago, motion rigs, forget anything less than 5,000 or 6,000. I remember VR, good quality VR, anything less than 2,000, forget about it. You know? You can manage without AR or MR after a while when you get used to it. Your peripheral locations will become muscle memory. That's very true. Yeah, very, very true. Subsonic, good to see you. This is the Cessna Grand Caravan with the Blacksquare overhaul. The analog overhaul. Basically makes the aircraft a study level aircraft, right? So we're at 3,500 feet. We're going to drop the arrow down again. Let's go 2.5. Drop it down 500 feet per minute. Speed is still looking good. Temperatures and pressures, we're fine. Everything's fine. Is it a DLC? It's a payware add-on for the default Grand Caravan. Highly, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Knew I would get one of them. But yeah, it's it'd be interesting to see kind of over the next couple of months, you know. Over the next couple of months. There's a lot of exciting things happening this year. There's a lot of exciting things happening. And it's to, you know, how can I better provide you guys with what you need to know, what you want to know. That's kind of the ideas behind it as well, right? So like, some people use VR. I'm going to dabble with VR now. I'm a huge fan of VR flight sim guy, Steve. He's a genius. But I want to be in a position to say, hey, look, this is what I'm using. This is how I'm getting the settings. Because usually, you know, when I'm not breaking things, I tend to get a fairly good experience out of the sim. Usually. So I want to be able to pass all that on. You're getting the Pimax Lite or the full version? The Pimax Lite, Muse. Would like them to make a flow caravan. That'd be awesome. It's on the marketplace. Yes. You can pick it up. Oh no, is it? You can pick it up on Just Flight Subsonic. It's a right-handed Purple. Right-handed. Thinking back, I probably should have got left-handed. And then put the throttle on the right. Thinking back. But,
Hello
you know.
there.
Play, good to see you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. But it's all like, you know, I'm looking forward to like messing around with different kind of hardware configurations, controller configurations, and the VR stuff as well. Because it can be helpful. Like, I mean, Ali has a load of different hardware and like super handy. You can like, Ali, how do you get that to work? And like, it's knowing someone who knows, you know. What's the difference in the light version and the full version? Well, I think the light version doesn't have eye tracking, so there's no battery, so it is lighter. But in terms of what the lenses can do, there's no difference. You know? And getting more, she's putting you to shame on hardware. Oh yeah, Ali has a mountain of stuff. But we'll see now, like, as I said, like, it's exciting things, there's more exciting things happening this year. And as I said, keep an eye out on social media tomorrow. Something awesome. Something brilliant. And all going well, an opportunity to save you guys a few bob when getting add-ons. So, exciting news on the way. Do be sure to keep an eye on social media tomorrow. We're doing some trucking tomorrow as well. That's the plan. I need to remove that mod, Cyrus. I'll won't get around to it tomorrow, though. Why is that? Right throttle and left stick. because if I was going to get a left stick, which is more realistic, because a lot of the time you're going to be flying left seat in general aviation, meaning the throttle is on your right. A lot of the time. Like when I fly in the real world, I'm in the left seat. Well, I haven't flown in a while, but I'm in the left seat. So your left hand is actually doing the flying. Your right hand is either on your throttle or the odd time it's back in the yoke. But a lot of the time, especially GA, your right hand is destined for your power settings. Pietro, you take care, my dude. Will you be covering it Wednesday on the news? I will. Right, runway dead ahead. Let us now go in. We're going to turn left here. And we'll approach the runway from the north. Let's go heading mode. Hard turn left. And we'll get to speed coming back down. This has been a beautiful flight. The scenery, what Jeppesen has done and getting to fly with you guys, nothing short of spectacular tonight, lads. It's amazing. Patrick, you take care, my dude. All the best. Okay, arriving at the waypoint. Look at that. Here's the airport. Jesus, look at the cliffs we're going to be flying in over. Beautiful. Alright, autopilot. Be gone. Start bringing the power back. Right turn coming in. Prop full. Landing lights are on. Ease. Oh, look at the cliffs. Alright, watch your speed. Lots of flaps. Altitude alert. Coming down onto 2,000 feet. Easy. Let's go second notch of flaps. Loads of airplanes around us. Oh, the haptic seat pad. I can imagine that's pretty good, yeah. Alright, let's turn final. Watch your power settings. Holding 80 over the hill is going to be okay. Easy does it. Jesus, what a beautiful part of the world this is. Look at that. Speed is good. Rate of descent is good. Little bit of wind over the cliffs. Alright. Okay, watch the speed coming in. Speed is good, power is good. Our gear is fixed, flaps are set. 90 knots. Little high. Ecor says flight sim in VR looks great. Oh yeah. Easy does it. There's a touchdown point about a third of the way down the runway. Alrighty, 90 knots, final approach. We're looking good. Hold. Runway 20. There's our touchdown zone. Power to idle, hold the nose. Easy. Easy. Touchdown! 66 feet a minute, we'll take it. Into beta. There's decel, 40 knots. On the brakes. Out of beta. And we'll exit here to the right hand side. This is going to look interesting because I'm using custom scenery for this place. Couldn't tell you when I got it. But I'll get out of everyone's way. Flaps in. And we'll jump out to our drone cam now to keep an eye on your guys. Look at that. They're all floating. All right, hit the brakes. Parking brake on. And let's come down through it. So lights, strobes, all coming off. Transponder. Good luck to you. Weather radar coming off. Avionics 1 and 2. Prop out. And we shall take power out. Alright. Fuel shut off valve, main valves. Hit them off. Release the passengers. Off, 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 and off. Good. Nav and beacon coming off. Everything here is turned off. Looks good to me. That looks good to me. And battery. Super de-duper. Hey, it's Norcalius here. Good to see you, man. Right. Jesus, look at the amount of people. It's the floating airplane show, but don't you look great? Absolutely awesome stuff, lads. What a great flight. What a great way to start this brand new Monday night series. All made possible thanks to Jeppesen. And I really, really do appreciate all you guys flying along with us tonight. Loads of fun. Loads of fun. A very challenging landing on live weather. I should have given it a shot. But guys, I want to thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in tonight. Don't forget, you can get the scenery for free. ! Scenery. We'll get you the scenery of the ancient world wonders. We continue on tomorrow night with some truck sim. Wednesday night we have the news. We'll be checking out some new aircraft. Also Rex Atmos is going to be shown, and Innie Johannesburg. We're going to take a look at it. And then on Friday night we have a group flight out of Africa, kind of like an African bush flight, if you will, taking off out of Johannesburg, heading west. It should be interesting, and looking forward to it. We're going to be flying in a new plane. I think we're taking the Sierra, the S24. So Friday night, definitely looking forward to it. Guys, thank you so very, very much indeed. Loads of fun, very interesting.
Hello there.
And getting to fly with all you guys, well, nothing beats this. So thank you all so very much indeed. And all the subs, the follows, the likes, the bits, the bejanies, the whole lot. Thank you very, very much. So we'll stand by. We'll see who's over on Twitch. We'll do a raid over there. And we'll be back tomorrow. So thank you all so very, very much indeed. We're just going to follow there as well. Inquire in mind. Thank you very much indeed for the follow. Welcome in. Right, that's it now. Horizontal administration calls. See you tomorrow. Good luck to you. Hold down, lads. Hang on. Jesus, get the ball off him. Why is he in? Don't let him do that. Don't.
Oh, did you see that? Take it out of that, Murph. You know, I should retire right now, I think.
Right. Murph, can you say foot golf faster? Foot golf. No, Gibbo, I can't. That's a try.
Okay, 50.
I'm at 50.
60.
No, I'm not at 60.
70 knots.
60.
80, 90. Come on.
Oh dear.
There's 100.
There's 80.
100.
There's 80.
100.
There's 80.
Oh,
Ah, you
Jesus,
took off.